Boss, let me tell you about these two. I've got some news. Gui Yuping chuckled. In the blink of an eye, this afternoon, Su Chao took a bunch of people and went to beat up Feng Lu. That scene, TSK, it was a real brawl. Shen Heng was stunned. Really? Gui Yuping sighed emotionally. Su Chao went and sought refuge with Qin Xiaohua, also known as Blooming Wealth. That old woman you wanted to block before? Qin Xiaohua is the boss of a media company. Her husband died a long time ago. You could say she's a strong, independent woman. Because of her media work, she interacts with all sorts of people, so she's very open-minded. She especially loves young, handsome guys. She throws money around like dirt for the men she likes. But normally, she's incredibly stingy. That's also why she directly messaged you in the group before, wanting you to give her supplies for free. Didn't she also say that after the snow stops, she'd send you a pennant and report on you? For her, that's just a convenient favor. The cost is almost zero. Gui Yuping first explained about this woman, then continued. Qin Xiaohua lives in Villa 16 of the joint villa area. Her son usually doesn't live here. These past few days, her grandson happened to miss his grandma, so he was brought over to this villa. As a result, they ran into this extreme weather. Qin Xiaohua has been relying on her grandson every day in the villa, but her needs aren't small. Being stuck at home all day these past few days, she must be dying of frustration. She must have contacted Su Chao before. The day before yesterday, Su Chao was beaten up by Feng Lu and Li Fei. Su Chao couldn't swallow this anger, so he sought refuge with Qin Xiaohua. And since our supplies happened to be on sale, Qin Xiaohua threw money around to buy a lot of supplies to bribe quite a few households, making them all follow Su Chao to seek revenge on Feng Lu and Li Fei. This afternoon, the two sides had a fierce battle in the underground passage. Needless to say, it was incredibly thrilling. Gui Yuping's face lit up with joy. The cursing was the best part, especially how the two sides went back and forth, competing to hurl insults. Then Su Chao took out the intimate videos of him and Feng Lu, which made it spread like wildfire. Shen Heng was stunned. He took out his phone and opened the owners group, only then seeing how lively the group had been just now. Su Chao had posted short videos of him and Feng Lu, which made many originally silent owners speak up in shock. Xiangdao Mechanical Repair. Su Chao, post more. My friend likes it. Angel also cries. Su Chao, my friend says he likes it too. I'll forward it to him. Bitter Medicine. Same as above. Old Wong. My grandson loves it too. For an upright old man like me to see such videos, it's a well-deserved reward. Jiang Chenyu. I'm a porn appraiser. Post a few more so I can appraise whether it's real or photoshopped. Feng Lu, don't worry. If it's a deep fake, I'll introduce a professional lawyer to you. We'll call the police. Quite a few owners were spamming the screen. In the apocalypse, this was one of their few joys. But Feng Lu, who was being discussed by everyone, didn't say a word at this moment. Her face was incredibly ugly. In the afternoon, Su Chao brought quite a few people to cause trouble, but they were beaten back by Li Fei and his brothers. Although they had fewer people, Li Fei and his burly brothers fought like their lives depended on it. Li Fei charged forward with a meat cleaver, and the people following Su Chao immediately scattered. Su Chao was almost chopped in the butt by Li Fei and hurriedly ran away as fast as his legs could carry him. When he got home, Su Chao couldn't swallow this anger. He then released all the newly recorded videos to set the mood. Anyway, the government couldn't even manage people's life and death right now, so who would care if he spread these things? Brother Fei, what should we do? Feng Lu, full of grievance, shook Li Fei's arm. Looking weak and pitiful, she said, I didn't expect him to dare to release all the videos. How am I supposed to live from now on? What will others say about you? I don't want to live anymore. Don't worry. Li Fei's face was gloomy. This son of a bitch actually dared to spread the videos. I will definitely teach him a lesson. He turned his head and yelled at his brothers. What are you looking at? Turn off your phones. The brothers in the room were secretly watching the videos on their phones, occasionally looking up to check out Feng Lu, seemingly completely immersed in the role. Facing that scene and watching her short videos, Feng Lu's face turned beet red. She bit her lower lip tightly. Seeing Brother Fei getting angry, the brothers hurriedly nodded in agreement. As soon as they turned off their phones, they secretly saved the videos from the group to watch again tonight. Hee hee, Who would have thought Brother Fei's girlfriend was so slutty? So many tricks. At this time, Su Chao continuously posted quite a few videos in the group and deliberately tagged Feng Lu. You little slut, didn't you like me taking close-ups? I'm releasing them all for you now, to make you a bit famous. You were with me, yet you still wanted to seduce other men. You're such a cheap slut. Jiang Qinyu, aren't you a porn appraiser? Then have her meet you and compare to see if she has the same mole on your butt as in the video. Jiang Qinyu immediately perked up and hurriedly agreed. That makes sense. Sister Feng Lu, why don't you come find me? I'll help you distinguish it. I'm a professional at appraising this. Feng Lu was so angry her lungs were about to explode. She turned her head and aggrievedly said to Li Fei, Brother Fei, look, he's still posting. Li Fei couldn't hold back his anger. Feng Lu was his woman now, yet Su Chao dared to blatantly spread videos like this. He directly said in the group, Jiang Qinyu, if you dare to keep blabbering, I'll come to your house right now and stab you to death. You live in apartment 1, building 1, room 11, right? Keep talking. Jiang Qinyu was terrified and immediately went offline, not saying another word. Li Fei then tagged Su Chao and started cursing at his phone. Su Chao, what the hell kind of video are you posting? Feng Lu was your girlfriend after all. You fucking dog, just you wait. I'll fuck your whole family. The other brothers. Seeing Li Fei cursing excitedly, they quietly took out their phones and saved the videos Su Chao just posted. They exchanged knowing glances, their eyes lighting up, staring intently at Feng Lu, wishing their eyes had X-ray vision to see through her clothes. Su Chao sneered and replied, Stop putting gold on your own face. When was Feng Lu ever my girlfriend? I'm not afraid to tell you guys. Feng Lu used to be Shun Heng's girlfriend. She's a gold digger who dumped the poor for the rich and secretly seduced me behind Shin Heng's back. I was just playing with her. A cheap slut like her wishes someone would fuck her every day. Li Fei was furious. He wasn't good at cursing, opening and closing his mouth with vulgar words, but it actually had no power at all. Are you any better? Don't think I don't know you sought refuge with Chen Xiaohua, becoming a gigolo for that washed-up old hag. You're a disgrace to men. A brother who was saving the video saw Brother Fei seemingly at a loss for words, and hurriedly picked up his phone to start cursing. She's a menopausal woman, and you can still get hard? Honestly, I respect you. DeYang, well said. Li Fei's spirits lifted. Keep cursing him to death. Lu Jinyang, seeing Brother Fei praising him endlessly, secretly glanced at Feng Lu. Seeing her looking at him with eyes full of emotion, he immediately became even more enthusiastic. Chen Xiaohua is also really thirsty. Don't you have a mirror at home? You always have piss, don't you? Look at your own virtues. You two are a perfect match. Chen Xiaohua, that kind of woman with a small pelvic congestion syndrome. Can that big thing of his in the video satisfy you? Awesome. Li Fei originally had no culture. One sentence of awesome was enough to travel the world. He slapped his thigh, constantly praising. Brother Yang, you curse really well. Feng Lu looked at him affectionately. Brother Fei, what's the point of just cursing? Let's go to Chen Xiaohua's house tonight and chop that Su Chao directly to vent my anger. Lu Jinyang became even more excited, standing up and saying, That's right. Li Fei nodded deeply, hugging Feng Lu and saying, Don't worry, darling. I'll take the brothers to find him right now and kill him directly. Let's see if he still dares to spread videos randomly. Brother Fei, well, then you guys have to be careful, Feng Lu said with a worried face. If it's dangerous, then don't go. After all, I don't want to cause you more trouble because of me. What trouble? Li Fei puffed out his chest. Brothers, check your weapons. We're leaving tonight. Everyone stood up and aggressively walked out the door. Lu Jinyang was the last one. Seeing that everyone had gone out, he then went to Feng Lu's side and said gently, Sister-in-law, we're leaving then. Be careful at home. Brother Yang, you're really amazing. Feng Lu gave Lu Jinyang a flirtatious look, leaning close to him and saying, You be careful too. Lu Jinyang was truly captivated by these fox-like eyes. Not knowing what he was thinking, he directly reached out and patted Feng Lu's butt. Don't worry, sister-in-law. So annoying. Feng Lu whispered coquettishly, only slightly twisting her waist without avoiding him. Lu Jinyang swallowed hard. In his mind, all sorts of short videos that Su Chao had posted flashed by again. DeYang, what are you standing there for? Let's go. Li Fei, who had led everyone to the stairwell, looked up and urged. Lu Jinyang hurriedly nodded, his eyes sparkling. He suddenly clutched his stomach. Brother Fei, my stomach hurts a bit. Why don't you guys go first? I'll go to the bathroom for a bit. All right. Li Fei didn't suspect a thing, nodding and leading everyone aggressively down the stairs. Seeing everyone gone, Lu Jinyang breathed a sigh of relief. Brother Yang, doesn't your stomach hurt? Feng Lu asked with a caring face. It suddenly stopped hurting. Lu Jinyang leaned close to Feng Lu and said seriously, Sister-in-law, I think Su Chao's videos are deep fakes. How could he record so many? Right. Hearing Lu Jinyang talk about the video content, Feng Lu nodded repeatedly. He faked them all. Lu Jinyang stared at her neck. Even though she hadn't showered for a week, Feng Lu's neck was still so white and smooth. He swallowed hard, his face serious. Sister-in-law, actually, I'm also a porn appraiser. Why don't I appraise the mole in the video for you? What porn appraiser? I think you just want to appraise me. Feng Lu giggled, her eyes flirtatious. You're so bad. You even want to look at your sister-in-law. Aren't you afraid Brother Fei will find out and come looking for trouble with you? Lu Jinyang stared intently at her. At this moment, a saying echoed repeatedly in his mind. To die under a peony flower, even as a ghost, is to be a romantic. Will sister-in-law tell Brother Fei? He leaned close to Feng Lu, whispering softly in her ear. Feng Lu felt her ear tickle. She had long been unable to hold back. Although she had served Li Fei a few times, he was just a weakling, all talk and no action. Don't be fooled by his strong physique. He was soft and completely useless. Every time, he left Feng Lu feeling disappointed. Needless to say how frustrating it was. Lu Jinyang was considered the handsome one among Li Fei's brothers, and she had long been attracted to him. Moreover, Lu Jinyang cursing Su Chao in the group just now gave her a sense of being protected. This was a feeling Li Fei couldn't provide. Of course. I won't. Feng Lu closed her eyes and whispered. Then what are you waiting for? Sister-in-law, let me take a look. Lu Jinyang's breathing quickened as he pulled Feng Lu into his arms. Feng Lu proactively hugged him tight. Wrapping her arms around Lu Jinyang's neck, the two kissed passionately. Let's go into the bedroom. There's an oil heater, it's warmer. Feng Lu was carried by Lu Jinyang. The two rushed into the bedroom. Inside the bedroom, a great battle began. Shen Heng and Old Qin's group went down the underground tunnel together, ready to watch the show. What could be more eye-catching than a dog-eat-dog scene? Even though he had just gone through a fierce battle and successfully killed Zhao Erbao, Shen Heng forced himself to support his body and hid with everyone in the dark corner of the tunnel. Very quickly, the sound of hurried footsteps echoed in the tunnel. Full of momentum. They're here. Shen Heng and the others perked up. They saw Li Fei walking at the front, carrying 2 meat cleavers. Behind him were 6 brothers, also aggressively approaching the tunnel leading to the joint villa area. Li Fei's group turned at the intersection leading to Villa Row 1 and walked quickly. Hearing their footsteps fade away, Shen Heng's group secretly followed behind, looking into the branch road. Su Chao, get the fuck out here. Li Fei walked to the basement door of Villa 6 in the East Row 1, suddenly swung his cleaver hard at the door, and shouted aggressively. Didn't that animal love posting videos? Come out here and try posting them right in front of me. Su Chao, inside the villa, naturally heard it, but just curled up and played dead in the room. Chen Xiaohua's face was ugly. She frowned and glared at Su Chao. What did you do? Now you've brought people here. I told you, the past is in the past. You wanted to cause trouble for them, and I used supplies to help you find people. But they aren't like that reckless, rough guy Li Fei. He really dares to risk his life. What should we do? If we don't go out, will it be okay? Su Chao whispered. You. Chen Xiaohua pointed at Su Chao, but seeing his incredibly pitiful look, and recalling how hard he had served her in the afternoon, her heart softened. She sighed. Fine, I'll think of a way. Tonight, you have to serve me well, understand? Su Chao hurriedly nodded. This time I want to be on top and be the female knight, Chen Xiaohua instructed again. The corner of Su Chao's mouth twitched. Things had already reached this point. What the hell was this woman thinking? Why was she still thinking about that? He didn't know how she managed to be the boss of a company. Also, your crazy poses in bed won't break my back, will they? Su Chao replied weakly. Okay, I'll listen to Sister Hua. That's more like it. Chen Xiaohua nodded in satisfaction. Just wait at home. I'll go down and meet them in a bit. Sister Hua, absolutely do not open the door. Su Chao's face was pale. Don't worry. You just need to take care of tonight's business. Chen Xiaohua chuckled, the wrinkles on her face trembling. Su Chao forced a smile. Chen Xiaohua walked to the basement door. Outside, Li Fei was frantically hacking at the main door with his cleaver. The noise terrified her. Li Fei. Whatever it is, we can talk about it tomorrow. Chen Xiaohua hurriedly cleared her throat, picked up the intercom on the door, and spoke indifferently. Hearing Chen Xiaohua's clear voice from the door, Li Fei was stunned, then sneered. Tell Su Chao to roll out here. Don't worry, I have no interest in an old hag like you. Su Chao is my man. I can't let him go out. Chen Xiaohua frowned. Give me some face. Let this matter go. I guarantee Su Chao won't do it again in the future. Give you face? What the hell are you? Li Fei kicked the door. Su Chao spread videos of my woman all over the neighborhood, and you're telling me to let it go? Let it go, my ass. Chen Xiaohua was terrified. This kick almost broke the main door. If he really kicked the door open, would Su Chao still be safe? She couldn't let them kill him. What are you planning to do? Chen Xiaohua acted tough, but was weak inside. I'm warning you, if you don't leave, I'll call for help. Haha. Li Fei let out a weird laugh. Go ahead and call. Even if you scream your throat out. Damn it, I misspoke. You fucking call for help right now. I want to see who dares to come save you. Chen Xiaohua's brows furrowed tightly. She could tell that Li Fei wouldn't let this go until he got what he wanted. During the day, those fools hired with supplies ran away in panic as soon as they saw Li Fei actually fighting with real knives and guns. Sigh. After all, they were just people hired with a few bags of noodles. They couldn't be relied on at all. Wait. Her eyes suddenly lit up. These homeowners couldn't be relied on, but Gui Yuping, the guy selling supplies, had a gun. She didn't believe it. Would Li Fei still dare to openly confront Gui Yuping? You really won't leave, right? Chen Xiaohua took a deep breath and gritted her teeth. Then don't blame me for turning hostile. Li Fei didn't bother replying this time. He viciously kicked the door again. The heavy door made a loud thud. It seemed this was a fight to the death. Su Chao had finally agreed to be her gigolo. For Chen Xiaohua, she couldn't possibly give him up. Su Chao was handsome and knew how to please her. She hadn't had enough fun yet. Making money was originally just to enjoy life. She had worked hard her whole life. Couldn't she just go crazy for love once? She picked up her phone, directly opened the chat with Gui Yuping, and gritted her teeth. Yuping, it's Sister Hua. Someone is breaking into my house right now. I'm so scared, Yuping. At the corner of the hallway, Shenheng's group was happily watching the show. Suddenly, Gui Yuping's phone vibrated, making everyone turn their heads simultaneously. Fortunately, Li Fei was leading his lackeys aggressively and focusing on kicking the door. No one expected there to be a crowd of onlookers in the tunnel. Yuping picked up his phone and looked at the WeChat message Chen Xiaohua sent in surprise. Blooming wealth? Isn't this Chen Xiaohua? Why is she messaging you? Shenheng's eyes widened, looking at Gui Yuping's phone screen in disbelief. Old Qin, Rinjie, and Shenheng's four girls also looked at Gui Yuping simultaneously. I don't know. Gui Yuping threw his hands up, trying to explain. Shenheng snatched the phone, turned down the volume, and played the voice message. Everyone leaned their heads close to the phone, listening intently. After hearing Chen Xiaohua's voice message, everyone's gaze towards Gui Yuping became even weirder. Old Gua, you didn't become a gigolo for Sister Hua too, did you? Shenheng looked at Gui Yuping with disgust. Your taste is really heavy. Boss, I didn't. Gui Yuping wanted to cry, but had no tears. He hurriedly snatched the phone back and replied to Sister Hua. Sister Hua, what do you mean by this? It's easy for people to misunderstand. Yuping, I bought 100,000 yuan worth of supplies from you today. You have to worry about Sister Hua's safety, right? Yes, Sister Hua still has a lot of money in her card. With the snow falling continuously like this, I'll be buying your supplies for a long time. I spend a lot of money every time, so I can be considered your VIP customer. Can't you help me out a bit? Sister Hua hurriedly sent a voice message. Afraid Gui Yuping still wouldn't agree, she quickly sent another. I know you have a gun. As long as you show up, Li Fei absolutely won't dare to cause trouble for me. How about this? You help me this time, and I'll give you 100,000. No, 200,000. What do you think? Gui Yuping proactively handed the phone to Shun Hung this time and played the voice message for everyone to hear. If I don't let the boss hear it clearly, I won't be able to clear my name in this lifetime. Sister Hua's wrinkles could crush a mosquito. How could I possibly like such an old woman? Besides, the boss went out with old Qin today and brought back 2 female celebrities for him. Don't misunderstand me and think I like old women. If you bring me a 70-year-old woman next time, how could I refuse? What would I do then? She's still our big customer. Shin Hung snapped back to reality and hurriedly picked up the phone. Price is 1 million. I'll tell Li Fei to get the fuck out right now. I heard Yuping say earlier that Qin Xiaohua's company just took out a loan and encountered extreme weather. Don't let Li Fei really kill him. If that really happens, even killing Li Fei won't vent the anger. I'm a businessman now. I have to calculate carefully. 1 million. Telling the brothers below to make a trip. Isn't this protection fee easy money? 1 million. Qin Xiaohua quickly regained her senses, utterly shocked. That's so much money. Why don't you just go rob someone? She was completely dizzy from this number, not even having time to listen carefully. The voice message just now wasn't sent by Gui Yuping. Shin Hung chuckled. If you don't want to agree, then forget it. You can take your time fighting with Li Fei. He tossed the phone to Gui Yuping. Learn a bit. Gui Yuping nodded repeatedly, looking at Shin Hung with eyes full of admiration. No wonder he could be the boss. This was truly plucking feathers from a passing goose. All the supplies were sold at high prices, and the boss had made a fortune. Qin Xiaohua had helped the boss earn quite a bit. But even so, when it came to protection fees, the boss wasn't ambiguous or lenient at all. No wonder I've been hustling for so many years and am still just a used car dealer. If I had even a fraction of this boss's skills, my shop would have long become a nationally famous used car brand. Why would I still be a used car dealer? In the basement, Qin Xiaohua's face was ugly. She didn't expect Gui Yuping to be so ruthless with his pricing, actually wanting 1 million to step in. I've helped you with so much business. Don't you have any feelings at all? But right after, 2 loud bangs came from outside the door again. Qin Xiaohua was startled and woke up. Qin Xiaohua, you're not opening the door, right? Li Fei's muffled voice rang out. Wait till I kick the door open. Not to mention that dog Su Chao. I won't even spare you. Qin Xiaohua's eyes lit up. Really? You're not lying to me, are you? Fuck. Li Fei almost spat blood. What kind of brain did this woman have? Just you wait. I'm going to come in and stab you to death. Qin Xiaohua pondered for a moment. What are you going to stab me with? Fuck. Li Fei almost suffocated. With a knife? With the meat cleaver in my hand. Fuck your mother. He suddenly grabbed the knife and hacked at the main door. But then, his eyes welled up with tears. This door was too thick. He couldn't chop through it at all. Instead, it made his hand numb. Shin Hung and the others hiding behind the corner watched with interest. If they had gone to sleep just now, they wouldn't have been able to enjoy this good show. Especially the dialogue between Qin Xiaohua and Li Fei, which made him constantly slap his leg in praise. But at this moment, Li Fei seemed completely helpless against this main door. Shin Hung suddenly frowned, his mind sinking into his consciousness space. From the vending machine, he bought a huge winter tree stump. The vending machine was truly incredibly rich, lacking nothing. There were only things you couldn't think of, not things you couldn't buy. With a wave of his hand, the tree stump instantly appeared. Everyone turned their heads curiously, looking at a massive, thick tree stump. Shin Hung threw the tree stump on the ground, making a loud thud. Boss, aren't you watching anymore? Gui Yuping stared at Shin Hung. Shin Hung waved his hand, leading the group to start hiding. Who's there? Li Fei suddenly heard a loud noise from behind and was startled, roaring angrily towards the back. But there was no sound. The other brothers also turned their heads. What is this thing? A lackey from behind walked up to the tree stump and examined it. Brother Fei, this thing didn't seem to be here just now. Where did it come from? Good stuff. Li Fei's eyes lit up. Then he frowned and looked around. After finding absolutely no one, he turned to instruct his lackeys. You guys come here, grab this tree stump, and break the door for me. Could it be that God also wanted Qin Xiaohua and Su Chao to die? This tree stump appeared at the perfect time. The lackeys hurriedly rushed forward. For people carried the stump and charged straight at Qin Xiaohua's main door. Li Fei hurriedly dodged. They slammed the tree stump into the door with a loud bang. Qin Xiaohua was so terrified, she almost screamed. Oh my God! What is this damn Li Fei using to break the door? It felt like the whole room was vibrating. Keep going. Li Fei's spirits lifted, and he hurriedly shouted. The lackeys hugged the tree stump and cheered as they charged forward again. Heave-ho! Another loud bang on the door. Qin Xiaohua saw that her main door, and even the walls around it, were shaking. Her face turned pale. If they kept smashing like this, the main door would probably be smashed open. Li Fei would definitely charge in. There was no time to think anymore. She hurriedly picked up her phone and tremblingly sent a voice message to Guo Yuping, her voice full of pleading and fear. Yuping, hurry up. I'll give you 1 million. I'll transfer it to you right now. Hurry and save me. Without another word, she directly transferred the money to Guo Yuping. Guo Yuping held his phone, looking at Shun Heng with a questioning gaze. Shun Heng gave him a look, signaling him to decide for himself. Guo Yuping smiled and replied to Qin Xiaohua, too late. The price has gone up to 1.2 million now before I make a move. Qin Xiaohua didn't expect this profiteer Guo Yuping to dare raise the price on the spot. But thinking about Guo Yuping's expensive supplies and the 1 million she had already transferred that she probably couldn't get back, she could only grit her teeth and transfer another 200,000 to Guo Yuping. I've given you all the money. Hurry and come save me. If Li Fei breaks in and a big customer like me dies, then who will give you business? Hurry and come save me. While Qin Xiaohua was sending the voice message, loud banging sounds came from outside the door again. Her face was as pale as paper, and she let out a shriek. Boss, then I'll go to work. Guo Yuping put away his phone and smiled happily as he reported to Shun Heng. Go ahead. Shun Heng patted Guo Yuping's shoulder. Guo Yuping swaggered over. Outside the door, Li Fei was still directing everyone to break the door. Inside, Qin Xiaohua was in tears. What the hell are you doing? Guo Yuping frowned and shouted. Who's there? Li Fei suddenly turned his head, but after seeing Guo Yuping, he hurriedly forced a smile. Is it Brother Peng? Why are you here? I ate too much, came out for a walk to digest, Guo Yuping said coldly. I heard some noise coming from over here, so I came to take a look. Ate too much. Everyone, including Li Fei, twitched their mouths. Fuck, in this kind of weather, only this nouveau riche with a lot of people could say such things. Who knows why this guy had such good luck to be favored by the big boss, harmony brings wealth, and made a representative. But he didn't dare say these words out loud. He forced a smile and replied, Su Chao humiliated my wife in front of everyone just now. I came here to teach him a lesson. What lesson? Everyone go back, Guo Yuping said sternly. Li Fei was stunned, feeling a bit resentful. You open your mouth and want me to go back? Do you really think you're the big boss? What? You got a problem with that. Guo Yuping pulled out a pistol from his pocket and glared at Li Fei. Li Fei's face stiffened, his lips trembling, but he couldn't utter a single word. He had no doubt whether this gun was real or fake. The big boss, harmony brings wealth, even had an AK, and even buried landmines in the underground tunnel. Giving Guo Yuping a pistol wasn't excessive at all. Seeing Li Fei standing motionless, Guo Yuping frowned. His left hand pulled the slide of the gun, making a crisp clicking sound. Don't, Brother Peng. We're leaving. Li Fei hurriedly waved his hands. Let's go. Qin Xiaohua gave me 1.2 million to protect her safety tonight. Just as Li Fei called his brothers to leave, Guo Yuping suddenly spoke softly. Li Fei was taken aback. Then he seemed to realize something and asked in a low voice, Brother Peng, you just said, tonight? He didn't expect the burly Li Fei to not be an idiot. Guo Yuping nodded, giving Li Fei an approving look. Good, Brother Peng, I understand. Li Fei smiled, bowed to Guo Yuping, and then said loudly, Brother Peng, I'm giving you face today. We'll be leaving first. Guo Yuping nodded. After Li Fei and the others left, he picked up his phone and sent a WeChat message to Qin Xiaohua. Sister Hua, Li Fei and the others have left. I'm withdrawing too. He quickly walked to Shin Heng's side, reporting like he was showing off his achievements. Boss, I just hinted to Li Fei that he shouldn't cause trouble for Qin Xiaohua tonight. He understood my meaning. He might come looking for Qin Xiaohua again tomorrow. When that time comes, we can earn another protection fee. Shin Heng thought, he truly is my good strategist. He knows how to extrapolate. He suddenly thought, in the apocalypse, as human order collapses, those who had previous grudges will probably seek each other out for trouble. If not, Maybe I should have Rin Jia lead the brothers to form a law enforcement team specifically to protect customers willing to pay to ward off disasters like this. This is a great way to attract funds. They finally left. Chen Xiaohua had been lying flat against the peephole just now, secretly observing the situation outside. When she saw Gui Yuping holding his phone and urging Li Fei and the others to leave, she finally breathed a sigh of relief. The moment she received Gui Yuping's message, she felt like she had survived a disaster. She had finally escaped. But thinking about losing 1.2 million, Chen Xiaohua's heart ached like it was being cut by a knife. With that much money, how many handsome guys could she have played with at the club? Returning to the living room, seeing Su Chao still sitting blankly on the sofa, she immediately said angrily, "What are you sitting there spacing out for? Go get me some hot water, I'm thirsty." Su Chao hurriedly stood up, took a bottle of mineral water from next to the oil heater, opened the cap, and poured it into the kettle. If placed anywhere else, the mineral water would have long frozen solid. Only by placing it next to the oil heater and absorbing the heat it radiated could it avoid freezing. "Sister Hua, they left?" Su Chao asked carefully. "What do you think?" Chen Xiaohua glared at Su Chao. Su Chao breathed a sigh of relief. Thank you, Sister Hua." He hurriedly stood up and bowed to Chen Xiaohua. "Why are you being so polite with me?" Chen Xiaohua glanced at Su Chao and suddenly said, "Come back to the bedroom with me now. I want to try some of the moves from your short video with Feng Lu." "Now." Su Chao's face twitched. "Weren't you going to drink water?" "I'll drink after we're done." Chen Xiaohua stood up and glared at Su Chao. "Tonight, I must earn back the money I spent. From you, I want to use you to the absolute maximum value." Su Chao shivered, thinking of Chen Xiaohua's terrifying demands. He stammered, I'll cook a packet of instant noodles to line my stomach first. I'm afraid." "What are you afraid of?" "To settle this matter, I spent 1.2 million. Chen Xiaohua kicked Su Chao. "I'll calculate it carefully for you. One shot is 10,000. Think about it yourself. How should you compensate me?" This much." Su Chao's eyes widened. Thinking about 120 times, his legs trembled, and with a thud, he fell to the ground. Chen Xiaohua didn't have time to waste with him. She directly grabbed Su Chao's collar and dragged him straight into the bedroom. Su Chao's face was full of despair and hopelessness. The next day, when Shun Heng woke up, the sun was already high. Beside him, the four girls were sleeping soundly, especially the one who had won the right to use Chin Chin from Shun Heng after playing cards yesterday. Now, her forehead and the tip of her nose were still dotted with sweat, like a quiet little kitten. While she was still sound asleep, he had just stood up when Hua Miao and Chin Mingqing also opened their eyes and asked gently, "Hubby, getting ready to go out?" Because the two of them wanted to go out with Shun Heng today, they hadn't gone too crazy last night, mostly just playing the role of pulling the cart for Chin Chin. Shun Heng nodded, and the two women also gently got up. After washing up and going downstairs, they saw Ning Jiao and Yang Muhuan with dark circles under their eyes, yawning continuously. "Shin Heng, you guys are up?" Ning Jiao blushed and yawned. "I'll go make breakfast." Now, she didn't dare to look Shin Heng in the eye. She really didn't expect that after Shin Heng went out for a day, he could still be so crazy last night. He was truly a god of war. No, a god. Yang Muhuan looked speechless. "Brother-in-law, can you change a room for me? Or you guys can sleep on the third floor, okay? If this continues, I'm going to have a nervous breakdown. The most expensive makeup. Can't even cover my dark circles. I'll give you a good pair of headphones. Don't worry, I guarantee you won't hear a thing." Shin Heng smiled faintly and handed Yang Muhuan a pair of small headphones. Then he glanced at Ning Jiao and proactively walked over. "Ning Jiao, here's a pair for you too." "Thank you." Ning Jiao's face turned beet red as she hurriedly accepted them. These were headphones carefully selected by the system. Soundproofing, noise reduction, impeccable quality. Very quickly, Ning Jiao simply made 4 dishes and a soup. She brought them to the table. Shin Heng was indeed very energetic. After all, his specialty wasn't building, but because plowing the fields was tiring, his stomach was also empty at this moment. In addition, Ning Jiao's cooking skills were quite good, almost comparable to a head chef, with excellent color, aroma, and taste. She even deliberately grilled a few plump raw oysters, the juice dripping and the aroma spreading everywhere. Just as Shin Heng was eating quickly, his phone suddenly rang. He glanced at the caller ID in surprise. This was the secondary phone number he used for WeChat. Not many people knew it. It was an unfamiliar number, but it showed Jiangxing City. Shunheng answered the call. Hello. Hello, I'm Li Minghua. A dry voice came from the phone. Li Minghua. Shunheng frowned. Yesterday morning, he had gone to Yunxi Elegant Residence and given a piece of paper with his phone number to Li Minghua's lackey. He didn't expect that after just one day, Li Minghua would call. It seemed Chun Jintian was very crazy. Li Minghua couldn't bear it anymore. You were the one who left the note yesterday, right? It had your phone number on it. And you also said, if I agree to take you as my boss, you'd agree to help me. Seeing Shunheng not speaking, Li Minghua proactively said, and you also told my brothers that Chun Jintian would launch an attack very soon. As expected, not long after you left, Chun Jintian gathered his lackeys and came right over. He sighed. If the narrow hallway hadn't restricted Chun Jintian's advance, he feared his group would have been wiped out by Chun Jintian yesterday. Thanks to a few brothers risking their lives to help, not hesitating to sacrifice themselves to attack and fight to the point of terrifying Chun Jintian's lackeys. Otherwise, he simply couldn't have survived until now. However, Chun Jintian still had 4 burly bodyguards by his side. What could they use to deal with Chun Jintian today? Looking at the many brothers beside him, some of whom were still injured with their wounds frozen, Li Minghua had no other options. He could only call the phone number left on the note. If Chun Jintian came knocking again today, they would only have one path to death. It wasn't that Li Minghua hadn't thought about surrendering, but he was afraid surrendering would be useless. They had clashed so fiercely with Chun Jintian before, and his brothers had also killed a few of Chun Jintian's lackeys. Even if they surrendered, Chun Jintian probably wouldn't spare their lives. You guys can't hold them off? Shunheng frowned. This Li Minghua is a bit weak. In his previous life, this guy was known as the Thunder God, with immense power. But looking at him now, it seemed if he didn't lend a hand, this guy probably wouldn't even survive until the day the mutation fruit ripened. We aren't weak either. But Chun Jintian went crazy for some reason, kept saying I killed his son, and even wanted me to hand over some Lin girl. How the fuck am I supposed to know which Lin girl? Li Minghua was so angry he cursed. Shunheng burst out laughing. It seemed he had added a bit too much fuel to the fire for Chun Jintian yesterday. Li Minghua was a bit stunned. Why are you laughing? Is it funny? If Shunheng hadn't been so mysterious yesterday and driving a snowmobile, Li Minghua wouldn't have bothered with him. But now, he really had no other way. Sorry, I just remembered something a bit funny. Go on. Shunheng hurriedly coughed. Sir, I want to ask you, what does taking you as my boss mean? Exactly what it sounds like, Shunheng said coldly. It means agreeing to follow me and obeying my every word. Then can you fend off Chun Jintian? Li Minghua said seriously. If you're just saying you'll drive a snowmobile to take me away, then forget it. If you can save my brothers and fight against Chun Jintian, then I, Li Minghua, am willing to obey any command from you. Brother Hua. As soon as Li Minghua finished speaking, he saw the many brothers who were still injured looking up at him one by one. One of them spoke with an excited face. Brother Hua, don't worry about us. At worst, we'll fight Chun Jintian to the death. If you can live, then live carefully. Later on, just remember to avenge us brothers. That's right, Brother Hua. The others also nodded continuously. You guys don't need to say anything. Li Minghua glared at everyone, then nervously held his phone and asked, Sir, can you agree? Although he didn't know who the other party was, the other party had specifically asked for him yesterday. Moreover, he currently had no other choice. He could only pin his hopes on this phone call. Shunheng gently stroked his chin. He really didn't expect Li Minghua to be a man who valued friendship and loyalty. Of course, if he had a wicked heart, he wouldn't have been able to manage the entire neighborhood in his previous life, making Yunxi Elegant Residence a clean area situated between the Mo and Song families. Then you just wait and see, Shunheng nodded. Wait till I finish eating, then I'll come find you. Li Minghua was stunned. The voice on the phone sounded very young, but he spoke like an old man. Moreover, they were currently in imminent danger, yet the other party wanted to finish eating before coming? Hubby, what's making you so happy? Hua Miao asked when she saw Shunheng put down his phone. Hurry up and eat. After eating, I'll take you guys to visit a few other neighborhoods and conveniently recruit a lackey Shun Hung smiled. A lackey? Huo Miao looked puzzled. Right now, everyone in the neighborhood was fighting to be lackeys for Gui Yuping and Rin Jie. And Gui Yuping and Rin Jie were her husband's lackeys. Was recruiting just one lackey worth being so happy about? You don't understand. Shun Hung pinched Huo Miao's nose. This lackey's abilities are not ordinary at all. In the future, just like Yuping and Ajie, he will be an important general under us. Then it's worth making a trip. Huo Miao nodded in agreement. Chen Mingqing didn't say anything else, just quickly ate her food, using her actions to support her husband. After eating, Shun Hung took the two girls out. Looking at the backs of the three leaving, Ning Jiao asked softly, "Should we wake your sister and Qin Qin up to eat?" "Don't. The two of them screamed themselves hoarse last night. I'm afraid they won't even want to get up." Yang Muhuan shook her head, suddenly thought of something, blushed, and didn't say anything else. Ning Jiao's face also turned bright red as she said, "Then I'll go back to my room to rest first." Without waiting for Yang Muhuan to say anything more, she quickly walked back to her room, locked the door tightly, took out her phone, and quietly opened a video. After 2 days of stopping, the snow started falling again, and the volume was much heavier than last night. Snowflakes danced and fell heavily. On both sides of the office buildings in the neighborhood, the two company bosses who had tried to extort Shin Hang's snowmobile had long turned into ice statues. The area between the office buildings became dead silent, without a sound. The whole world seemed to turn into a pure white and silent painting. Shin Hung drove the snowmobile straight to Yunxi Elegant Residence. As soon as they entered this neighborhood, Huo Miao understood. No wonder when Yuping suggested occupying Yunxi Elegant Residence last night, her husband said there was no need to bother. It turned out he already had appropriate arrangements. Huo Miao also cared very much about the lackeys her husband valued. Now, she increasingly had the demeanor of the master of the harem. Not only was she extremely tolerant of Qin Qin and Chen Mingqing, but she even participated in many of Shun Heng's activities, earning the respect of Gui Yuping, Old Qin, and the others. To avoid alerting Chen Jintian, Shun Hung parked the snowmobile far away and walked with the two girls to the bottom of Building 3. "Brother Hua, someone's coming." On the 10th floor balcony, someone saw Shin Hung and the others downstairs and hurriedly turned to report. "They're here? How many people?" Li Minghua immediately perked up. Three people. And it looks like there's only one man. The other two are women." The lackey scratched his head and replied softly, "3 people? And 2 of them are women." Li Minghua's eyes widened as he hurriedly ran to the balcony. Downstairs, 3 figures were slowly walking over. The person in the middle was a man, and on his left and right were 2 women. The 3 of them looked happy, laughing and talking animatedly, not paying attention to anyone else at all. They didn't look like reinforcements at all, but rather like tourists. Li Minghua looked dumbfounded. "Hey!" He watched the 3 people enter the 3rd floor. Even when their figures disappeared, he still hadn't recovered. "Is this a joke?" Li Minghua frowned. "But if he was playing a joke on me, was it necessary to come here?" He was a bit doubtful if he had called the wrong number. Chen Jintian wasn't coming here to play cards with me. He was coming to kill us. A life and death struggle. He really wants to kill us, to take our lives. What does it mean for him to bring 2 girls here? Is he coming to show off his PDA right in front of me? On the 3rd floor balcony, the lackey from yesterday was still standing there. Hearing Brother Hua say the man driving the snowmobile yesterday would bring reinforcements, he proactively asked to wait on the 3rd floor. After all, he was the only one who had met Shin Hong, but he didn't expect to only wait for 3 people. The person in the middle was the guy who threw the note to him yesterday, right? But what did it mean to bring these 2 women? The woman on the right was with him yesterday, and what about the woman on the left? Also a girlfriend? Wait, do you think you're participating in a beauty pageant with Qin Jintian? Or are you planning to offer these 2 women to Qin Jintian to make peace with him? The lackey's eyes showed clear disdain. When Shun Hung nodded at him and walked into the hallway, heading straight up the stairs, the lackey took out his walkie-talkie to report. "Brother Hua, this is indeed the guy from yesterday. He brought 2 very beautiful women. The one on the right was with him yesterday, and the one on the left I haven't seen before, but she's acting very intimate with him. I guess he probably wants to offer the women to Chun Jintian in exchange for our lives." "What?" Li Minghua held the walkie-talkie, his face full of shock. He never expected that the person who wanted to be his boss would bring women to make peace with Chen Jintian. The brothers beside him also heard this. They immediately frowned and cursed. I thought he was really tough. To think he'd use women in exchange for our lives. Brother Hua, we follow you precisely to protect our families, to protect our wives and children. Using other women to exchange for it. I'd rather fight Chen Jintian to the death. The others also nodded continuously. Using women in exchange for their lives? That was truly too despicable. They couldn't do it. Wait a minute before you say anything. Li Minghua waved his hand at his brothers, signaling them to calm down and not be hasty. At this moment, a knock came from outside the door. A lackey proactively went to open the door. Everyone looked towards the door. There are so many corpses in the stairwell, and you didn't even clean them up a bit. I almost couldn't get up. Shun Heng shook his head. Li Minghua, is this your attitude when welcoming your boss? I'm a bit disappointed. Fuck. With your frivolous attitude, you want to be our brother Hua's boss? You have the nerve, I spit on you. An angry young man said indignantly. You even want brother Hua to proactively come out to welcome you? Just looking at your appearance. How are you any different from rich trash like Wang Jie? Wang Jie? Damn it, is someone cursing me? The smile on Shun Heng's face completely vanished. He looked coldly at the young man. Are you Li Minghua? I'm not. You still want to. Before the man could finish, he was interrupted by Shun Heng. Then what the hell are you? Do you have the right to speak? As soon as he moved, a crisp slap echoed. The young man covered his face, looking at Shun Heng with a mix of anger and fear. Bang! The others regained their senses and immediately stood up, surrounding Shun Heng's trio. Li Minghua, is this your attitude when begging others? Shun Heng didn't care about these people at all. He looked at the skinny man standing silently at the back and shook his head slightly. You really disappoint me. Let's go back. Wait. Li Minghua suddenly spoke. Brother Hua. Everyone's faces were ugly as they turned to look at Li Minghua. Everyone get back. Li Minghua's voice deepened. Everyone suppressed their anger, glared at Shun Heng, and then retreated to the sofa. You were the one who called me just now. Li Minghua stared at Shun Heng. What do you think? Shun Heng said indifferently. Can't you recognize the voice? You slapped my brother as soon as you met. Indeed, my brother shouldn't have insulted you, but you made a move. In short, hey, stop. Shun Heng frowned, interrupting Li Minghua. If you're an idiot who wants to defend him, then go ahead. You guys can't keep me here. Don't throw your lives away. I see you're not stupid either. He insulted me first just now. And remember this, I am your boss. What should be done to a lackey who insults the boss of his big brother? Shun Heng sneered. Or are you saying you deliberately wanted to test me, feeling I'm not qualified to be your boss? Li Minghua took a deep breath and turned his head to say, Little Zhang, apologize to the boss. Brother Hua. Little Zhang, still covering his face, looked at Li Minghua in bewilderment. Brother Hua, I got hit. My face still hurts right now. Why should I apologize? You insulted the boss first. The boss only slapped you once. That's already giving you face. Apologize, Li Minghua shouted. Little Zhang took a deep breath, reluctantly stepped forward, and bowed to Shun Heng. I'm sorry, boss. I shouldn't have spoken to you like that just now. Shun Heng frowned. Li Minghua being able to make such a decision was a bit unexpected. What surprised him even more was that Li Minghua's brothers listened to him so well, immediately admitting their mistake. From this, it could be seen that Li Minghua was indeed a character, truly a rare talent. With Li Minghua joining, he believed they would very quickly be able to coordinate with Ren Jie and expand their team. It's nothing. Since the other party has sincerely apologized, Shun Heng couldn't keep holding on to it. He waved his hand. You are Li Minghua's brother. I won't pursue it this time. Don't do it again. You're still acting arrogant. Many people secretly cursed in their hearts. Sir, can you really help us force Chen Jintian to retreat? Li Minghua asked. Force him to retreat. Shun Heng sneered. Does your brother's word from just now count? He really knows how to put on an act. Everyone complained internally. Li Minghua's expression also stiffened. This young man was too arrogant. Then what's your plan? Li Minghua asked carefully, then pointed at Hua Miao. Don't tell me you want to use this beautiful lady in exchange for our lives. If that's really the case, we won't accept it. Right, we won't accept it. Little Zhang also shouted. The others also nodded in agreement. We won't accept it. Because we are fighting against Chun Jintian precisely, so our wives and children won't be humiliated by him, Li Minghua said sternly. Even if we don't know this lady at all, using a woman in exchange for peace is something we absolutely cannot accept. Use my wife to exchange? Shen Heng was stunned. Are you fucking dreaming? Hua Miao was his first woman since his rebirth and held great significance to him. Even if Shen Heng later got Yang Jinhuan, Chen Mengqing, and even the female celebrity Qin Qin, whose looks and beauty were not inferior to Hua Miao's, Shen Heng absolutely couldn't have such a thought. He had made it clear to Hua Miao from the start. As long as Hua Miao was fully devoted to him, he would never abandon her in this life. Sigh. Li Minghua had just voiced his speculation, but didn't expect to be scolded by Shen Heng. He wasn't angry, but had an indescribably strange expression. The other brothers also looked at Shen Heng with shock. They didn't expect this to be his wife. But if you don't want to give your wife away, then where are our reinforcements? Don't tell me you're planning to single-handedly fight Qin Jintian? One person against his whole gang? Then, sir, where are our reinforcements? Li Minghua asked carefully. It can't be just you alone, planning to follow. Before he could finish, the walkie-talkie on the table suddenly rang. Brother Hua, Qin Jintian has brought a bunch of people and is gathering downstairs again. From the looks of it, there are really a lot more than yesterday. The urgent voice of Feng, the lackey guarding the third floor, came from the walkie-talkie. Li Minghua's face changed, and he hurriedly turned to go to the balcony. Looking down, there was a dense, dark crowd of people downstairs, probably over 100. Moreover, they were all burly men, with no women or elderly to make up the numbers. On the contrary, on his side, there were only over 10 brothers left in the room. Their combat power wasn't on the same level at all. There was absolutely no way to fight. He instinctively turned to look at Shen Heng, the young man who wanted to be his boss. At this moment, he should at least be afraid, right? But unexpectedly, Shen Heng still maintained a calm expression, seemingly not caring about the crowd downstairs at all. I'll go take care of the people downstairs. You'll keep your promise, right? Shen Heng looked at Li Minghua. If you can force Chun Jintian back, then all of us will willingly call you boss. Little Zhang replied loudly. I don't need you guys. I only value Li Minghua here. Shen Heng slowly stretched, ignoring everyone's fluctuating expressions, and turned to go downstairs. His light voice drifted over. Why force him back? Just kill him directly. Wouldn't that be the end of it? Hey, Li Minghua was about to say something, but Shen Heng had already gone down the stairs, muttering curses as he walked. So many corpses, and you don't even know how to clean them up properly. I almost tripped. What surprised Li Minghua even more was that Hua Miao and Chen Mengqing, these two delicate beauties, actually followed Shen Heng downstairs. Big brother, big sister, this isn't child's play. Are you three here to play a joke on us? It wasn't until the footsteps of Shen Heng and the others faded away that Li Minghua snapped back to reality and gritted his teeth. Hurry, go stop them. Don't let them die. This is our business. We can't drag innocent people into it. Everyone took a deep breath and stood up together. Although Shen Heng seemed frivolous and easily disliked, Brother Hua was right. This was a matter between them and Qin Jintian. No matter how annoying that bastard was, even slapping little Zhang, he didn't deserve to die. Even less could they let someone else die in their place. They silently followed behind Li Minghua and went downstairs together. In the hallway, many anti-theft doors were now wide open. Inside, the elderly, women, and children watched Li Minghua and the group behind him with tears in their eyes. These were the families of the many brothers, but none of the brothers following Li Minghua spoke, just silently lowering their heads. Approaching the third floor, a woman finally choked up and called out loudly, Zhang Quandang, if you die, I'll die with you. The corner of little Zhang's mouth twitched, and he slowly closed his eyes. Everyone, go home. Li Minghua turned around and saw that the hallway behind him was packed with people. His gaze swept over every face in the crowd, finally stopping on his wife and son. He smiled gently and said, shouting, take our son home. Don't stay out here and affect our fight. Jin, Daddy is a real man. Jin will also be a man, right? The 10-year-old boy nodded vigorously. Daddy, I will protect Mommy well. Good boy. Li Minghua gave his son a thumbs up. Then, with a resolute face, he turned around. Brothers, are you ready? He He shouted. We're ready. Everyone replied together. Little Zhang also opened his eyes, the corners of his eyes a bit red. Behind them, Shouting still had tears in her eyes as she softly spoke to everyone. Let's all go home. Believe in them. Believe in our men. But right at this moment, an out-of-tune voice suddenly rang out from room 301, full of untamed arrogance. Are you fucking Qinjintian? Li Minghua's expression stiffened slightly. He hurriedly looked over following the voice. He saw Shun Hung standing on the balcony of room 301, aggressively resting his hands on his hips. Beside him were Huo Miao and Qin Mengqing. Qin Jintian was full of ambition, personally doing a roll call of his lackeys, preparing to charge in today and hack Li Minghua to pieces to avenge his son. That's right, and that bitch Lin too. Suddenly hearing a voice from behind, Qin Jintian turned around and saw a young man staring at him. He immediately flew into a rage. Who the fuck are you? But right after, he saw the two women beside Shin Hong, and his eyes instantly lit up. These two women were much more beautiful than the models in his house. Why didn't he know before that there were two such absolute beauties living in Building 3? You little brat, obediently offer those two women to me, then kneel down and crawl between my legs. Maybe I'll consider sparing your life. Qin Jintian pointed at Huo Miao and Qin Mengqing. Shin Hung burst out laughing. You old geezer, you're about to die and you still dare to lust after my wives. Originally, he planned to kill him with one strike, but now thinking about it, he was still too kind-hearted. Then before you die, you should suffer a bit more. Where's Li Minghua? Qin Jintian naturally had no idea what Shin Hung was thinking. Beside him were 7 burly bodyguards, and behind him were over 100 lackeys. This gave him immense confidence. Little 7 just said the one who killed Jiawei was an old man. This is Li Minghua's trump card. Later, when the melee breaks out, you guys must remember not to let that old man escape. Qin Jintian tilted his head and instructed Little One standing beside him. Don't worry, Boss Chun. We will protect you well and capture that old man. Little One nodded seriously. Qin Jintian nodded happily. I'm very satisfied with Little One. Qin Jintian was also very worried that during the melee, that mysterious old man would appear to assassinate him. With these lackeys protecting him, what the hell did he have to worry about? Little 4 and Little 5, later you guys wipe out Li Minghua's subordinates. After charging inside, kill all the elderly in every room. Don't miss anyone. Little 1 turned his head and instructed softly. Little 2 and Little 3, you guys guard downstairs. Don't let any elderly escape. If anyone jumps out the window, just chop them again. Little 6 and Little 7, you two lead the men to directly wipe out Li Minghua's remnants. The remaining 6 nodded simultaneously. Boss Chun, I'll stay by your side. If that old man dares to attack you, I'll immediately. Before Little 1 could finish his sentence, a bloody hole appeared on the back of his neck. He widened his eyes, looking in disbelief at the opposite side. Shin Hung was standing on the 3rd floor balcony, holding a pistol, casually blowing on the barrel, and smiling brightly at him. But his mouth was muttering curses. Fuck, you talk too much. I've been watching you for a while now. What the fuck are you still blabbering about? Little One's body swayed, then collapsed to the ground. The remaining 6 bodyguards also stood frozen in place. A gun? Why? Why does he have a gun? Protect Boss Chun. Little 7 had just opened his mouth when a bloody hole also appeared on the back of his neck. The others tried to dodge, but Shun Hung steadily held the gun and calmly pulled the trigger. Huo Miao had activated her skill, silently linking her mind with Shin Hung. Under her mental lock-on, the others simply couldn't escape. Shin Hung also transformed into a sharpshooter, every shot hitting the opponent's head. However, locking onto a person consumed a large amount of mental power, so after Shin Hung quickly took down the 7 bodyguards, Huo Miao's forehead was also dotted with sweat. Retract your ability, Shin Hung frowned. Dealing with these useless guys, do I still need you to lock on? Don't you trust my marksmanship? I trust your other marksmanship, Huo Miao pouted. Shin Hung was speechless. You can still drive in this situation? You've really been completely corrupted by Qin Qin, that little green tea bitch. The moment the gunshots rang out, Qin Jintian was flustered. It wasn't until the 7 bodyguards beside him collapsed to the ground that he suddenly turned his head and hurriedly ran towards the crowd. As long as I run fast enough and hide in the crowd, I can survive. Someone behind will take the bullet for me. I can't die? But the others weren't idiots either. As soon as the gunshots rang out, everyone fell into chaos and hurriedly turned to run away. But before they could even think, the sound of gunfire erupted from behind, making everyone's hearts sink. Rat-a-tat-tat. The gunshots rang out continuously. With this rapid, chained burst of fire, the people who had run far ahead, who were just starting to feel a flicker of joy, fell to the ground one after another. What the hell? They even have a machine gun? A few people stumbled and fell, turning back with terrified faces. They were shocked to see that Shun Hung was now holding an automatic rifle. A blue flame flared from its muzzle. We surrender. Witnessing that none of the escapees survived, they all stared wide-eyed as the last ones fell to the ground, unwilling to accept their fate. The remaining people dropped to their knees and kowtowed to Shun Hung, begging for their lives. I already told you. Anyone who runs, dies. Why don't you people ever listen? Shun Hung leaped down from the balcony and walked toward the group. In the distance, a few others tried to take the opportunity to flee, but Shun Hung was quick. He raised his gun and fired a few shots. Those people immediately collapsed to the ground. This time, no one dared to move. They all knelt on the ground, shivering uncontrollably. Chun Jintian's face darkened. Gritting his teeth against the pain, he stared at Shun Hung with hatred. Who in the world are you? This couldn't have been Li Minghua's doing. Since yesterday, he had his men watching building number 3, where Li Minghua lived. Building number 3 was sealed off. People could go in, but not out. When Shun Hung, He Mao, and Chun Mingting brazenly entered building number 3 earlier, his men spotted them immediately and reported it to him. But Chun Jintian didn't think much of it. As long as Li Minghua hadn't found a large group of reinforcements, it was fine. Besides, 2 of them were women. But he never, ever expected that of the 3 people who had just entered building number 3, the only man, the one he paid no attention to, would have a gun. Why are you opposing me? Seeing Shun Hung approach step by step, Chun Jintian's expression grew even grimmer. It's simple. I'm Li Minghua's boss. It's perfectly normal for a boss to stand up for his men, isn't it? Shun Hung said coolly. Boss. Chun Jintian's brow furrowed. You're the station manager for Matewan in Jiangcheng? Li Minghua was just a delivery driver. How could a delivery station manager have a gun? He frowned, then a thought struck him. He asked in shock, did you steal the guns from the police station? Shun Hung paused. Am I wrong? Chun Jintian stared at Shun Hung and said slowly, Shao Qi went to the police station to find information on the old man who killed my son. But he discovered that the police station's armory was empty. Those guns. I'm afraid you stole every last one of them. Others hoard food, I hoard guns. My neighbors are my granary. Chun Jintian let out a heavy sigh. For a delivery station manager to have this much foresight, I, Chun Jintian, have nothing more to say. Shun Hung remained noncommittal. In his mind, he was thinking, the police armory. It's likely that on the night of the torrential rain, the police officers took the guns with them to the shelters. After all, to maintain order in the shelters, protect important figures, and command absolute obedience from those below, guns were essential. A great man once said, political power grows out of the barrel of a gun. This meant that half of the military was guarding the capital, while the other half was at the coast, dealing with unknown threats. The police, on the other hand, took the guns to the shelters to preserve the spark of humanity. It seems I'll have to be a bit more careful when dealing with the shelters. Although I'm invincible for now, the shelters have guns. Besides, when they built the shelters, they must have stockpiled plenty of weapons and other special measures inside. Better safe than sorry. Shun Hung looked up, his face emotionless as he aimed the gun at Chun Jintian's left leg. Wait. Chun Jintian blurted out. If I agree to acknowledge you as my boss, can you spare my life? Bang. Shun Hung coldly pulled the trigger. Chun Jintian let out a blood-curdling scream, clutching his leg as he rolled in the snow. Be your boss. Shun Hung finally lowered his gun and shook his head in disdain. You're not worthy. Why? Chun Jintian said hoarsely. Am I not even as good as a stinking delivery boy? That shot was for daring to lust after my wife. Consider it a gift. Shun Hung snorted. Well, goodbye. He raised the muzzle and aimed it at Chun Jintian's forehead. Even though Chun Jintian was a dead man in his eyes, Shun Hung wouldn't tell him that old Qin was the one who killed Qin Jiawei. Let him die a confused ghost. For all he knew, Chen Jintian might have been reborn too. Wait a minute. Chen Jintian endured the pain and quickly spoke up. Don't kill me. If you kill me, you'll die too. I'll die too. Shunhung looked amused. All right then, let's see how I die after you're dead. He was a level 4 ability user now. What was there to worry about? Besides, he had old Qin, Pigman, Chen Mingting with her wall-phasing ability, the shadow assassin Rinjie, and the psychic He Mao. With 4 ability users plus himself, who could possibly kill him? Moreover, Shunhung not only had his fire ability, but also his storage space. After the fierce battle with Zhao Erbao, Shunhung realized that his spatial ability, which he hadn't paid much attention to before, had a lot of room for improvement. If he could combine his space and fire abilities, his destructive power would reach a whole new level. He pressed the gun barrel against Chun Jintian's forehead, his finger on the trigger. You can't kill me. Chun Jintian's soul nearly left his body as he babbled. If you kill me, Joey will avenge me. You'll die too. Shunhung sneered. Isn't your son already dead? Are you insane? He's alive. He's alive. Chun Jintian's face was a mask of ferocity and madness, but now a smile bloomed. You dare kill me, he'll kill you. Although he can't understand human speech anymore, he's my son. He can smell my scent. He will get revenge. You will definitely die? I am a patron of the Tihui. I offered my son's body. Chun Jintian said coldly. You dare kill me. You will definitely die. The Tihui will avenge me. Tihui. At that moment, Li Minghua and his brothers came out. Zhang Quandang spat. I'm still Wei Xiaobao. Why don't you call me Lord Wei? He was about to curse some more, but he noticed Shun Heng's grim, unmoving expression. Did I say something wrong? Zhang Quandang gulped and quickly shrank behind Li Minghua. Tihui. That name. Shunhung had heard it mentioned in his past life. North City had the Song family, West City had the Tang family, and East City's Lin group was a mess. But no one ever mentioned South City. South City was Jiangqing's old, chaotic downtown area, a place where dragons and snakes mingled. But after the apocalypse descended, not a single piece of news came from the densely populated South City. Back then, Shunhung had been searching for supplies, venturing further and further out. He had once reached the outskirts of South City and saved a man on the brink of death. With terrified eyes, the man told Shunhung that all of South City had become a land of the dead. A mysterious organization called the Tihui had quietly risen. They were emaciated, their methods were cruel, and they could control corpses. The man Shunhung saved had been injured while being chased by a corpse. He was already infected with corpse poison. After saying all this, he passed away. Connecting this to Chun Jintian's story, does that mean the Tihui can already control corpses? Just like that meteorologist in the Taoyuan community controlled plants? Is this a type of control system ability? But right now, ability fruits haven't even appeared yet. So how are they controlling corpses? In my past life, what exactly happened with the Tihui? Didn't the Song family rule all of Jiangqing? Shunhung had many doubts. His memories of the apocalypse were limited to the first 3 months. Now, he had changed so much of the world's original trajectory. The only thing he could do, besides hoarding supplies, was to do his best to level up his vending machine. Only with greater strength could he survive and overcome all difficulties. Otherwise, he'd end up like Zhao Erbao. Even though he was reborn, possessed his own space, and had prepared meticulously long before Shunhung, and even had a fortress-like safe room, he still ended up dead. He had to be cautious every step of the way. You're a patron of the Tihui, Shunhung said, narrowing his eyes. Tell me everything you know about them, and I won't kill you. Zhang Quandang, standing behind Li Minghua, hesitated, but Li Minghua seemed to sense it and shot him a glare. Zhang Quandang immediately lowered his head and said nothing. Boss Hua is being way too careful. We have guns. What's there to be afraid of? Really? Chun Jintian was overjoyed. He had only been grasping at straws, but he hadn't expected this young man to show apprehension at the name Tiandihui. His superiors had instructed him that the Tiandihui was still developing in secret and its name was absolutely not to be revealed. But it seemed the Tiandihui was already quite famous. Shunhung didn't answer him, just nudged him with the gun barrel. Chun Jintian's expression stiffened slightly. He glanced around and then continued in a low voice. This isn't a suitable place to talk. Minghua, have your men take him back. Shen Heng turned and instructed. Yes, sir. Li Minghua had completely slipped into the role of Shen Heng's subordinate. He quickly ordered, Xiao Zhang, take him back to our room. Zhang Quandang was a bit reluctant, but faced with Boss Hua's order, he still answered with a sullen grunt. He called a few brothers, and together they lifted Chun Jintian and headed back to the 3rd floor. As for the rest of you, I know you didn't follow Chun Jintian willingly. It was all for survival and supplies. Shen Heng turned to the kneeling men and said, Go back and think it over carefully. After today, this entire community will be under Li Minghua's control. If you're willing to follow him, come and register tonight. Li Minghua will provide you with all the necessary living supplies. Sufficient supplies? Everyone's eyes immediately lit up. They raised their heads one by one, looking at Shen Heng with doubt, then at Li Minghua. Li Minghua hesitated, a bitter expression on his face. What supplies? Right now, his brothers were drinking their own urine to survive, trying to create a self-sustaining cycle within their bodies. If they really had supplies, they wouldn't be living so miserably. But Shen Heng had truly saved him and his brothers. So he had to honor their agreement. From now on, Shen Heng was his boss. He would just obediently do whatever his boss said. However, Shen Heng fired a shot into the air. The gunshot echoed everywhere, scaring everyone. They looked at Shen Heng with terrified eyes. If any of you have other ideas, don't blame me for being merciless. Shen Heng waved his hand. Anyone who wants to follow Minghua, just find him tonight. After speaking, he turned and walked back to the 3rd floor balcony. Li Minghua hurried after him. Outside, the kneeling men watched until Shen Heng and the others were completely gone. Only then did they carefully get to their feet, gathering in small groups to discuss. If Li Minghua could really provide supplies, then they would naturally be willing to follow him. After all, everyone was just trying to get by. Who wouldn't want supplies to survive? They had originally followed Qin Jintian because he controlled the 2 supermarkets outside the community and promised them supplies. That was the only reason they became his subordinates. Gao Xiong, mixed in the crowd, narrowed his eyes and remained silent. Seeing that Shen Heng and the others were gone, he quietly returned to Chun Jintian's residence. Inside Chun Jintian's bedroom, the fat man's expression was shifting constantly. He had heard the gunshots outside the window earlier and had peeked out. He was completely dumbfounded. Boss Chun was captured, and his 7 bodyguards were all dead. A total disaster. I'm probably going to die soon too. The fat man looked at the model pacing anxiously by the bed. He remembered the pleasure of the previous day and suddenly wrapped his arms around her from behind. What are you doing? Let me go. The model struggled desperately. You slut. You slept with me yesterday. What are you pretending for now? The fat man forcefully pushed her onto the bed, his hands tightening around her neck. Chun Jintian is finished. All his men are dead. Now my legs are both broken. I can't even run. I might as well enjoy a little pleasure before I die. It's better than just waiting. He squeezed harder. The model's face turned blue. She gaped in terror, trying to struggle, but her frail body was no match for him. A moment later, the model's struggles grew weaker and weaker until they stopped completely. Even in death, I'll have my fun. A twisted smile spread across the fat man's face. Like a pervert, he obsessed over the model's neck, then licked his way down. Bang! At that moment, Gao Xiong suddenly kicked the door open. The fat man jumped in fright. When he saw it was Gao Xiong, a cold smile appeared on his face. Gao Xiong, I know you have a thing for this woman. Look, she's enjoying it so much her eyes are rolling back. Gao Xiong charged forward, plunging a knife straight into the fat man's chest. Then he delivered a powerful kick, sending him flying. Dao Dao, Gao Xiong cradled the model in his arms, horrified. The model had stopped breathing. Damn it, you bastard. Gao Xiong's eyes were bloodshot. He turned towards the fat man and stabbed him again and again, relentlessly, until the fat man's body was riddled with holes and covered in blood. Only then did Gao Xiong stop, panting heavily. He turned back and held the lifeless model. Dao Dao. He held her, sobbing silently. I'm sorry. I was too late. I'm sorry. He held the model tightly, his cries choked and silent. The Tihui is an organization formed by a coalition of many scientists. I don't know who the supreme leader of the Tihui is. I once greatly admired a scientist, and he was a member of the Tihui. Everything I know about this organization, I learned from him. At this moment, Chun Jintian, who had been tossed into a corner of the bedroom, began to speak. This scientist is one of the key members. I was fascinated by their research project, so I invested a sum of money and was granted the title of patron. There are quite a few patrons like me in the Tihui. I'm just a junior patron. As for how many people are in the Tihui, I'm not sure. After all, my authority is very limited. He glanced at the gun in Shun Heng's hand, and Chun Jintian swallowed. My son died. I brought his body back and thought of the Tiandihui. So yesterday, I called that scientist, and they sent someone to take my son away. Then why did you say your son was resurrected? Shen Heng cut in coldly. Because their research project is called Phoenix Nirvana, Chun Jintian said in a low voice. They focus on researching the human gene chain. According to him, humanity possesses a total of 5 levels of gene chains. As of now, humans have only unlocked the first level. The other 4 levels seem to be sealed by a sturdy lock, requiring a corresponding key to open. Once the 3rd level of the gene chain is unlocked, humans will possess long life. No one is unafraid of death. So, after I made some money, I poured it into this project. However, Phoenix Nirvana is a newly established project. Their original gene chain research project was called Utter Annihilation. This name not only represents the world-destroying, globally subversive power humanity would possess after unlocking all the gene locks, but also carries all their hopes for unlocking them. The Phoenix Nirvana project was an accidental discovery during their gene chain research. It's the phenomenon of people on the brink of death being resurrected, just like a phoenix rising from the ashes, dying, and being reborn. The project currently requires a large number of corpses for research. Moreover, the experimental phase has reached a critical point. I handed my son's body over to them, hoping that one day I could witness the experiment succeed and see my son appear before me again, Chun Jintian said hoarsely. Unexpectedly, Jiawei really did get up again. But he turned into a walking corpse. What do you mean? Shen Heng stared intently at Chun Jintian. They researched and created a type of microchip. After implanting this chip into a corpse, the corpse will stand up again. Initially, they hoped to implant artificial intelligence into the chip so that the deceased could retain their memories from when they were alive and continue their unfinished lives based on their personality and habits. But right now, the technology is still not mature enough. After Jiawei was implanted with the chip, he did indeed stand up. But the artificial intelligence had an unexpected problem. It's like a creature that can devour memories. It constantly gnaws, constantly absorbs. Every time it kills a person, it can devour the victim's memories. Furthermore, the Tiandihui's Phoenix Nirvana project discovered that they couldn't control Jiawei. Last night, I couldn't sleep, so I was standing downstairs, staring blankly at the snow. Suddenly, I saw Jiawei. Chun Jintian murmured. Jiawei was eating someone. When he saw me, he charged at me like a madman. I kept calling his name, but he was completely unresponsive. However, in the end, he laid down and sniffed me. It seemed like he recognized my scent. Then he finally left, taking the half-eaten corpse with him. Shen Heng frowned. He hadn't expected the Tiandihui to be an organization like this. It seems this organization isn't made up of ability users, but of top-tier scientists. And now, their scientific project has had an accident. Or perhaps, the project has been taken over by a few ambitious individuals, researching gene locks, but then establishing the Phoenix Nirvana experimental team midway through, even implanting AI chips into corpses. Aren't they just asking for chaos? With the government silent and the military mysteriously gone, many ambitious people have jumped out of the woodwork. And this Tiandihui is one of the most threatening forces among them. Recalling the dying man he saved in his past life, Shun Heng suddenly understood. It seems the reason South City fell completely, with almost no survivors, was because of the existence of such a crazed organization. They might have even secretly killed all the residents of South City to turn them into corpses for their experiments. The only thing that can be confirmed is that the Tiandihui's headquarters should be located in South City. And 3 months into the apocalypse, perhaps the Tiandihui still hasn't succeeded. With the insane ideology of this group of evil people, they would have launched a large-scale offensive long ago. West City and North City are tough nuts to crack, But surely the already collapsed East City wouldn't be able to resist? After questioning him further and finding that Chen Jintian had told him everything he knew, Shen Heng glanced at Chen Mingting, giving her a signal. Chen Mingting immediately understood and nodded silently. You promised not to kill me. Are you going back on your word? Chen Jintian was terrified when he saw a gun appear in Chen Mingting's hand, its muzzle aimed at him. He was both angry and scared. You scum. I said I wouldn't kill you. But I didn't say others wouldn't, Shen Heng shrugged. A person like Chen Jintian was a disaster waiting to happen if left alive. At the same time, he wanted to see if Chen Jiawei, the one who had turned into a living dead, could really track him by scent. After all, Chen Mingting was with him every day. If Chen Jiawei appeared, he would know immediately. Knock, knock. Just then, a series of soft knocks came from the bedroom door. Zhang Quandang poked his head in. Boss Hua, there's someone outside who wants to see you. He brought a car and says he wants to offer it to us. He also wants to pledge allegiance to you, boss. Brought supplies? Shen Heng was a little curious. The apocalypse has been going on for a week. Who could have so many supplies? Zhang Quandang added. This person says his name is Gao Xiong. His only request is to kill Chen Jintian with his own hands. If Chen Jintian has already been executed, he wants to see his body. If you agree, boss, he's willing to be your dog. Gao Xiong. When Chen Jintian heard this name, he was first elated, but then he heard Gao Xiong's request and shouted, Impossible. Absolutely impossible. Gao Xiong is my trusted subordinate. I even let him have a taste of my model mistress. How could he betray me? Let him in. Shen Heng gestured. Soon, the door was pushed open, and a short man walked in. As soon as he saw Gao Xiong, Chen Jintian shouted, You want to kill me? What grudge do we have? Is it worth it for you two? Dao Dao is dead. Gao Xiong spoke coldly. That fat bastard killed Dao Dao. Chen Jintian, it's all your fault. Chen Jintian was stunned. Yesterday, just because of some unverified news from that fat bastard, you let Dao Dao stay with him. Gao Xiong's eyes were filled with a thick, killing intent. I went through life and death for you, achieved so much for you. You noticed me and Dao Dao exchanging glances, and you were worried we were secretly together, so you deliberately made her go accompany that fat bastard. That fat bastard tried to violate Dao Dao today. When Dao Dao refused, he forcefully choked her to death. However, I've already stabbed that fat bastard full of holes. He's dead. You piece of trash, you cuckold fetishist. She was your woman. It was your own twisted heart that feared she would betray you, so you tormented her relentlessly, even sending her to other men. You knew I loved her, so you deliberately forced her to be with other men right in front of me. You pervert. You're finally going to die? Huh? 2 streams of tears flowed from Gao Xiong's eyes. He turned and knelt before Shen Heng with a thud. Boss, let me kill him. After that, I'll be your dog. I'll never have a second thought. I beg you. As he spoke, he slammed his head hard against the floor. You can't kill him, Shen Heng said coolly. Gao Xiong's movements paused slightly. He looked up in disbelief. Boss has already captured Chen Jintian. Could it be that he wants to let this bastard go? You can't have his blood on you. However, you can watch him die with your own eyes, Shen Heng continued. That's enough, Gao Xiong said with a look of gratitude. Shen Heng still wanted to use Chen Jintian's blood to lure Chen Jiawei, that living dead, to him. If Gao Xiong got the blood on him, then he'd have to stay with Gao Xiong all the time. Mengting, use a knife to kill him, Shen Heng instructed. It's best if his blood splatters on you a little. Shen Mingting was stunned, not knowing what her man meant, but she still nodded in agreement. It's not like she had a cleanliness fetish. She could just change her clothes and take a shower when she got back. As for the blood-stained clothes, she could just throw them away. She took the knife from Shen Heng's hand and suddenly stabbed it into Chen Jintian's chest. A stream of fresh blood spurted from the wound, splattering onto Chen Mingting's clothes. You? Chen Jintian spat out a mouthful of blood, looking at Chen Mingting, then at Shen Heng beside her, his eyes filled with hatred. Don't look at me. I promised not to kill you, and I kept my promise, Shen Heng said coldly. I just hope, as you said, that Chen Jiawei can be like a dog and sniff his way here quickly. Boss. Behind him, Gao Xiong watched as Chen Jintian closed his eyes, unwilling to die. From now on, you are my master. Whatever you tell me to do, I will do. This life of mine is yours. Dao Dao, if your spirit is watching from heaven, you can finally rest in peace now. You were the first girl to ever move my heart, and the one I love to death. You never despised me for being ugly, so how could I ever despise you for being dirty? Li Minghua murmured. After dealing with Chun Jintian, Shun Heng and the others returned to the living room. Sitting down on the sofa, Shun Heng spoke up. Li Minghua hurriedly stood up and bowed his head. We took in some new underlings tonight. The team needs to expand, Shun Heng explained simply. First, take some men overnight to clear out the 2 supermarkets outside the residential area. Distribute the supplies among the brothers. Those 2 supermarkets basically have no significant resistance. It should be a piece of cake, right? Rest assured, boss. Li Minghua nodded hurriedly, then hesitated. It's just that the supplies for the next phase. I'll send someone to deliver supplies to you tomorrow. Just make sure to receive them, Shun Heng said lightly. Yes, thank you, boss. Li Minghua was stunned for a moment before replying. Deliver supplies? How much could the boss possibly provide? After all, besides a bunch of brothers, they also had parents and children at home. These were all mouths waiting to be fed. Could the boss really provide enough? Someone will contact you tomorrow. Just do as he says, Shun Heng said, seeing through Li Minghua's doubts. Remember, for now, do your best to recruit more people. You don't need to worry about the supplies. Since the boss had said so, what else could Li Minghua say? I think highly of you, and I hope you can show your true capabilities. Shun Heng patted Li Minghua lightly on the shoulder. In Shun Heng's heart, Li Minghua was fully capable of standing on par with Gui Yuping and Rin Jie, becoming his right-hand man. Moreover, Li Minghua's ability belonged to the rare lightning attribute, boasting immense destructive power. He was exactly the kind of great general needed to expand his territory. Please rest assured, boss, Li Minghua said respectfully. Gao Xiong. Shun Heng looked toward the other side, where a short-statured man stood. The man had a long scar across his face, giving him a fierce appearance. This was the guy who had just surrendered, constantly claiming he wanted to be Shun Heng's dog. Boss, I'm here. Gao Xiong immediately knelt in front of Shun Heng. There's no need for that. Stand up and listen to me. Shun Heng frowned slightly. Yes. Gao Xiong quickly stood up, bowing his head and listening attentively. Follow me for a few days first. In a week, I have a task and need to send you on a trip to the south side of the city. Are you familiar with the south side? I grew up in the south side since I was a kid and only moved to the north side with my family later. When the time comes, I'll give you enough food for a week. Head over there and gather some intel. Come back and report directly to me every week. Shun Heng nodded in satisfaction. Yes, Gao Xiong replied decisively, without asking a single extra question. Shun Heng was truly very pleased with this kind of attitude. Although he hadn't seen this person in his previous life and didn't know what ability he had, Shun Heng decided that once the ability fruit ripened, he would give one to Gao Xiong and send him to the south side to investigate the Heaven and Earth Society. No matter what ability Gao Xiong awakened, even if it was just physical enhancement, he would at least have some ability to protect himself. The Heaven and Earth Society intentionally hid themselves so deeply. Naturally, they didn't want to be easily exposed. Before their experiments succeeded, if Shun Heng went personally, he probably wouldn't be able to find out anything. Not only would it waste time, but it might also alert the enemy. Now that Gao Xiong had agreed to be his dog, he might as well give him a good opportunity to prove himself. If he was truly capable, Shun Heng would treat him well and properly groom him. Of course, if Gao Xiong betrayed him, Shun Heng wouldn't mind letting him taste the power of Old Qin's fists. After settling all these matters, Shun Heng took Hua Miao and Qin Mingqing out of Building 3. It was completely different from when they arrived. Li Minghua, Gao Xiong, and everyone else respectfully escorted Shun Heng downstairs, watching the 3 of them walk far away before returning inside. Damn it, if they escorted us any further, I wouldn't even need to drive the snowmobile. I could just walk straight to the granary. Shun Heng wasn't appreciative at all. Instead, he grumbled and muttered. He held the 2 girls' hands and walked a bit further. Only when they reached a corner did he summon the snowmobile, and they quietly left Yunxi residence. Jiangqing's granary was located in the northern suburbs, far from the city. The snowmobile drove for nearly an hour. The houses on both sides of the road gradually became sparse, and the scenery turned into flatlands covered in white snow. Finally, the outline of the granary could be seen in the distance. This place wasn't entirely uninhabited. The suburban area mostly consisted of single-story houses and small two-story buildings, all of which had long been buried under thick layers of snow. On the frozen road, there were indeed a few snowmobile tracks. Shinhung took out his binoculars and scanned the area around the granary. Finding no guards, he felt relieved. In his previous life, after the Song family completely occupied the granary, they stationed heavy guards there. Ordinary people couldn't even get close. It seemed that right now, the Song family obviously hadn't fully taken over this place yet. Looking at the snowmobile tracks on the ground, they probably only sent a very small number of people to secure it first. Currently, the Song family was likely relocating their entire clan. The granary was massive, and since it was built by the government, the buildings here were extremely sturdy. Later on, the Song family would turn this place into an impregnable fortress, using it as a stepping stone to expand rapidly and become the largest faction in the north side of the city. As they got closer to the granary, the footprints on the ground began to increase. Shinhung brought the two girls outside the granary's 8-meter-high perimeter wall and quietly stored the snowmobile away. Although the wall was towering, for Shinhung and the others right now, it only took a single leap to cross it. Shinhung didn't go straight in. Instead, he turned his head and glanced at Huamiao. Huamiao understood his intention and gently closed her eyes. A powerful surge of mental energy instantly connected with Shinhung and Shun Mengxing. In Shunheng's mind, a 360-degree view of the surrounding environment immediately appeared, clear at a glance. After crossing this courtyard wall, the southern side was the main granary area. Inside, countless grains of wheat and corn were piled up. On the western side of the main granary were various processing machines that could directly turn these grain reserves into edible finished products. The eastern side was also a warehouse, stacked with quite a few items. Similarly, Shunhung even saw cotton, various industrial crops, and dried vegetables. No wonder the Song family could survive in such a remote granary. The government even purchased cotton here, which could be used to make both blankets and padded coats. This was truly a massive steal for the Song family. On top of that, not far away was a small reservoir where they could break the ice to get water. The Song family was incredibly lucky to occupy such a treasure trove. With no worries about food or drink, they could survive in peace. It's just that in this life, I'm afraid you won't be so lucky, Song Jinming. The corners of Shunheng's mouth curled up. Right in the northern part of the granary compound was an office building over 10 stories high. At this moment, Shunhung and the other two were hiding on one side of the office building. This office building would later be divided and occupied by the Song family members and some of their key subordinates, becoming their residence. Relying on this granary, the Song family recruited young people from the surrounding villages. Carpenters, craftsmen, masons, and blacksmiths were all taken in. Eventually, they renovated this office building to have excellent insulation. The three of them entered the office building together. Huamiao continuously consumed her ability, her powerful mental energy expanding in all directions. In Shunheng's consciousness, it felt as if he were playing a MOBA game. As they moved, Huamiao continuously scouted the surrounding areas. As they approached, it was like tearing through the fog of war. Shinhung could clearly observe the layout of every single room. Shunheng thought to himself that once the ability fruit ripened, he definitely had to give Huamiao a few more. Having such a powerful support by his side was like directly turning on a radar scanning function. All areas, even if obscured by walls, simply couldn't hide from the coverage and surveillance of Huamiao's mental energy. Currently, Huamiao could only scan within a 10-meter radius, so they still needed to move around more. What if Huamiao's scanning range expanded to 100 meters, or even 1,000 meters, or further? Then, before a battle, not only could he make all the necessary preparations, but he also wouldn't have to fear anyone secretly plotting against him in the dark. After one such scan, Huamiao's forehead was dotted with sweat. In the entire office building, there were only 2 people hiding in the second room on the 3rd floor. Other than that, there was no one else in the building. Shunhung wasn't in a hurry to alert the enemy. Instead, he waited for Huamiao to rest for a while and recover enough mental energy before quietly pushing open the door to the third room. Without making a single sound, this room was only separated by a wall from the occupied room next door. Shenheng bought a radio from the vending machine, then pulled out a wire from the radio speaker. The end of the wire looked like a medical stethoscope with a large suction cup. He pressed the suction cup tightly against the wall, then plugged the earphones from the radio into his ears. There were exactly 5 earphone jacks on the radio. Hua Miao and Chun Mingxing followed suit without hesitation, putting the earphones in. This gadget was called Walls Have Ears. Below it was a note: System's carefully selected ultrasonic through-wall eavesdropping device. The conversation from next door was now clearly transmitted into the ears of the 3 of them. In the room next door, 2 men were sitting. One was about 25 or 26 years old, and the other was an old man in his 50s. Second brother is way too cautious. The granary is surrounded by pure white snow, not even a single footprint in sight, yet he still wants us to be extra careful. The young man showed a look of dissatisfaction. As long as we secure this place, our Song family can completely rise to power. It's only normal for Zhiming to be a bit cautious. You know what happened 2 days ago? The old man's deep voice rang out. Third uncle, we have guns. What are we afraid of? Yinming, this is an official state granary after all. In this apocalyptic setting, we've already secretly killed the people taking shelter here. What if the shelter sends more people over? TCH, didn't we scare the crap out of those blockheads the other day and kill them? Third uncle, why are you being so cautious now? The shelter? Humph, they're just a bunch of rich trash. They didn't even bother inviting our Song family, and now they want to come and take the food? Keep dreaming. In short, it's never a bad thing to be careful. Tell the brothers to stay alert. Whether our Song family can dominate or not, it all depends on this. Granary. Third uncle, rest assured. I'll go talk to them right now. When will second brother's side be able to move over? It's been 5 days. It should be soon. They were still looking for snowmobiles before. After all, in this kind of weather, a snowmobile is a symbol of survival and supplies. I heard that to get the snowmobiles, Zhenming killed the head of the Lin family. That old man from the Lin family is dead? What about Linlu? Is she still alive? Song Yinming's eyes lit up. The precious daughter of the Lin family was an absolute beauty. He had met her once before, and she was breathtakingly beautiful. Since then, he had pursued her fiercely. The Song family had some influence in North City, but in the whole of Jiangcheng, they could only be considered a second-rate family. The Lin family had always wanted to marry into a first-rate family to elevate their status. Therefore, even though Song Yinming was the noble third young master of the Song family, the Lin family had always been hesitant and had not agreed. She escaped. The old man sneered at Song Yinming. Don't you have any wishful thinking? If that girl from the Lin family falls into Zhiming's hands, do you think it would be your turn? Song Yinming was stunned and didn't say a word. So, second brother also had his eyes on Linlu. Now that the head of the Lin family was killed, he would definitely not let Linlu go. With second brother's extreme personality and perverted hobbies, a beautiful woman like Linlu would probably be tormented to death. What a pity for such a beautiful woman. Song Yinming didn't dare to have any ideas about second brother's women, just like how he used to secretly like his sister-in-law. But after second brother became the family head, he completely gave up that idea, because he knew that second brother also had other plans for his sister-in-law. To live peacefully in the Song family and enjoy wealth and prosperity, he absolutely could not touch the things that second brother wanted. He couldn't even have the thought. Third uncle, I'll go see how they're resting. Song Yinming, with a blank expression, stood up and went out. He left the room, then started the snowmobile and drove straight to the warehouse opposite. Shenheng took off the earphones. It seems the Song family has already started to move. From their conversation, these two are probably the advance party sent by Song Zhenming. One is Song Zhenming's third uncle, the other is Song Zhenming's younger brother. These two are definitely the leaders at this granary. It seems they are quite valued by Song Zhenming. Otherwise, he wouldn't have entrusted them with guarding such an important granary. Shenheng lay by the window and saw that Song Yinming had stopped his snowmobile at the entrance of the opposite warehouse. Then he swaggered in. The corner of his mouth lifted. He left the room, then walked to the door of the next room and pushed it open forcefully. Yinming, didn't you just leave? Why are you? Who are you? Song Yuliang was boredly playing with his mobile phone. He suddenly heard the door open and instinctively spoke. However, when he looked up, he was surprised to find that he didn't know the young man in front of him at all. How could an outsider come here so quietly? Even if the people from the shelter drove a snowmobile, the noise would have been heard from far away. They could have prepared for battle immediately. But just now, he didn't hear any noise at all. Could this young man have walked here? The wind and snow were raging outside. It was freezing cold, and the surrounding houses had long been buried. The entire northern suburbs, except for the granary, had almost turned into a world of white snow connecting the sky and the earth. In such circumstances, walking here was simply a daydream. Song Yuliang's expression changed in horror. Just as he was about to reach for the pistol on the table, Shun Heng's figure flashed and instantly appeared beside him. He reached out and accurately grabbed Song Yuliang's neck. Ugh! Song Yuliang's mouth gaped open, struggling to breathe. Shun Heng held a polonium worm in his hand and stuffed it into his wide-open mouth. Song Yuliang's eyes were filled with fear. He clearly saw this young man stuff a worm into his mouth. Moreover, it was a worm that glittered with a metallic sheen all over. He could clearly feel this worm, like a small machine, crawling down his throat and straight into his stomach. If you want to live, don't make a sound. Otherwise, I'll make you wish you were dead, Shun Heng said in a low, cold voice. Song Yuliang quickly nodded. Only then did Shun Heng let go. Song Yuliang gasped for breath, then suddenly remembered something. With a mixture of fear and anger, he whispered at Shun Heng. Who are you? What did you just feed me? A worm. It contains a potent poison, enough to poison your entire Song family. Shun Heng smiled. If you don't behave, I'll let that worm die in your stomach. You'll also get to experience what it feels like when the potent poison takes effect. This polonium worm was the one that was in Chun Guoping's stomach. As for Lu Shangyuan's polonium worm, it had been swallowed by Zhao Erbao into his space, completely cutting off the connection with Shun Heng. This made him feel a little pained. The system only sold a limited number of 2 of these polonium worms. In other words, this was his only polonium worm at the moment. In the future, when dealing with space ability users, he would not use the polonium worm to probe anymore. Song Yuliang's face was ugly. He stared at the pistol on the table for a while before looking up at Shun Heng. What do you want by feeding me this? It seems you're not stupid enough to think about resisting with a gun, Shun Heng said with a smile. If you had dared to pick up the gun just now, you'd be a corpse by now. I'll ask you a few questions, Shun Heng said. Your Song family has now occupied this granary, right? Did people from the shelter come here before? Aren't you from the shelter? Who are you? Song Yuliang stared at Shun Heng. Shun Heng didn't answer, but picked up a remote control and gently pressed a button. Song Yuliang suddenly felt a sharp pain in his stomach. Then, a twisting, gut-wrenching pain came, as if a living creature in his stomach was hungry and biting hard at his stomach. Am I asking you, or are you asking me? Answer my questions honestly. If you don't cooperate, then you'll die, Shun Heng said coldly. I believe there are still many people in the Song family who are willing to cooperate with me. I'll talk. Song Yuliang was covered in sweat, rolling on the ground, clutching his stomach. Shun Heng pressed the remote control again, and the pain instantly vanished. Song Yuliang was full of suspicion, touching his stomach. If it weren't for the sweat on his forehead, he would even feel that the heart-wrenching pain just now was just his own illusion. My name is Song Yuliang. I'm the 3rd uncle of the Song family head, Song Jinming. Our Song family has sent a total of 40 people. They are all busy in the granary now, moving the stored wheat and rice to the workshop for processing. Song Yuliang panted, hastily explaining. Our Song family has 3 snowmobiles. Yiming bought them for fun, but they turned out to be useful in this snowstorm. Before, we sent people over in several batches, dealt with the guards of the granary, and then occupied it. Now we only have 1 snowmobile left here. The other 2, Song Jinming drove them all back. He plans to move the entire Song family here. But because there aren't enough snowmobiles, he went to the Lin family the other day. The Lin family has more than 10 snowmobiles. Now the head of the Lin family has been killed by him, and the snowmobiles have been successfully seized. I believe it won't be long before he leads people here, moving all our family's supplies over. Song Yuliang told him everything he knew. He was old, and the older he got, the more he didn't want to die. Having enjoyed a lifetime of wealth and prosperity, he cherished his life even more. However, the worm in his stomach made him tremble with fear. He knew that if he didn't cooperate, this ruthless young man would surely make him suffer a fate worse than death. Shen Heng sat at the table, listening silently to Song Yuliang's account. Oh, yes, there's also this. 2 days ago, people from the shelter came, wanting to take away the stored grain. But there were only 3 of them, and we easily dealt with them. So, very soon, the shelter will send more people to find out. When that time comes, it will probably be the first fierce battle for our Song family. Song Yuliang looked at Shen Heng with some fear, then glanced at the strangely shaped machine in Shen Heng's hand that was pointed at his face. He swallowed and continued. You must be very curious why we have guns, right? All these guns were provided to us by Song Jinming. I heard he got them from the military, but I don't know the specifics. Shen Heng glanced down at the lie detector. It was all green. This meant that this old man was quite cooperative. I haven't even asked anything, yet he has told me everything in detail, explaining everything. Guns from the military? Shen Heng was stunned. Then he remembered. Before the snow started, he had snuck into the military base and overheard the conversation between Song Jinming and Wang Peng. It was clear that their relationship was very close. Wang Peng even helped Song Jinming kill Song Guangming, pushing him to the position of the head of the Song family. With their relationship, it was normal for Wang Peng to secretly give Song Jinming some guns. After all, the military retreated in a hurry. Even if they found some guns missing, no one would pursue the matter. The others in the granary, do they all have guns too? Shen Heng asked. Yes, Song Yuliang nodded repeatedly. They are all homemade rifles, and there are a few pistols. After all, Jinming is worried that the people from the shelter will attack. Because the people who came to the granary to transport supplies were killed by us, the shelter will definitely send more people. Our Song family can't give up the granary, so we can only prepare for battle. Shen Heng nodded. It was now completely clear. Sir, can you let me go now? I'll tell you everything. Song Yuliang looked at Shen Heng cautiously. He secretly glanced at the pistol on the table. Then, as long as that damned worm crawled out of his stomach, he would immediately grab the gun and kill this guy. Damn it. I'm the 3rd uncle of the Song family, with a noble status. Now I've fallen into the hands of a young man. And this bastard even dared to threaten me. Now, go gather everyone. Shen Heng naturally noticed Song Yuliang's gaze. He didn't think it was a big deal and ordered. Ah. Song Yuliang was stunned. What? Shen Heng raised his eyebrows. No, nothing. I'll go gather them right away. Where do you want them to assemble? Song Yuliang said cautiously. Have them all go to the granary. Shen Heng said flatly. Song Yuliang didn't know what Shen Heng was up to, but for now, he could only nod in agreement. After all, he didn't want to experience that feeling of dying and coming back to life a second time. Shen Heng instructed Song Yuliang, took out his mobile phone, and had him add him on WeChat. He told him that after gathering everyone, he should message him on WeChat. Then he turned and walked out. Looking at Shen Heng's back, Song Yuliang's eyes were filled with a desperate look. He suddenly grabbed the pistol on the table, pointed it at Shen Heng, and roared angrily, "Don't move." Shen Heng turned his head, looking at Song Yuliang with a half-smile, completely ignoring the black muzzle pointed at his forehead. He raised his eyebrows and said, "You want to die? Don't you smile at me." Song Yuliang's eyes widened, glaring at Shen Heng angrily. "Get that worm out of me now. Otherwise, I'll shoot you immediately." "Go ahead and shoot." Shen Heng waved his hand, throwing the remote control to the ground, his face indifferent. "You can kill me, then you can operate that remote control yourself." Song Yuliang was stunned. He really didn't expect Shen Heng to say that. But seeing the remote control on the ground, he remembered that this young man had just pressed a button on it, causing him to suffer a fate worse than death. If it could be controlled to make him suffer, then there must also be a button that could make the worm crawl out on its own. "You dared to threaten me just now." Although he felt Shen Heng's behavior was strange, Song Yuliang still maintained a cold face and pulled the trigger. Click, click. He pulled several times, but only heard the clicking sound of the trigger being pulled. His face was filled with astonishment. "The gun you have is here." In Shen Heng's hand, there was an extra pistol. He looked at Song Yuliang coldly. "The one you're holding is my gun. There are no bullets inside." This Song Yuliang looked at the gun in Shun Heng's hand in shock, then looked down at the gun in his own hand, unable to calm down for a long time. He clearly didn't see the other party switch guns just now. What the hell is going on? Song Yuliang, I'm giving you one last chance. If you still don't cherish it, then don't blame me for being merciless. Shinhung picked up the remote control and slowly walked to Song Yuliang's side. In his left hand, there was an extra silencer, which he screwed onto the muzzle of the gun. Then, he pulled Song Yuliang's left hand and pressed the muzzle against his left wrist. Thump! A soft sound was heard, followed by a sharp pain in his left wrist that pierced his heart. Just as Song Yuliang opened his mouth to scream, Shunhung stuffed a towel into his mouth. Ooh. Song Yuliang was in so much pain that tears streamed down his face. His eyes were filled with even more horror. Be patient. In Shunheng's hand, there was an extra pair of pliers. He pressed Song Yuliang down, pulled out the bullet, and deliberately waved it in front of Song Yuliang. Does this bullet look familiar? It's from the gun in your hand. Song Yuliang almost fainted from the pain. Do as I say. If you dare to have any more wicked ideas, there won't be a second time. Next time, the muzzle will be pointed at your head. Shinhung smiled at Song Yuliang, then slowly walked out of the room. Song Yuliang's head was covered in sweat. He clenched his right hand, his wrist emitting muffled groans of pain. It was not until more than 10 minutes later that Song Yuliang weakly collapsed to the ground. He tremblingly removed the towel from his mouth, swallowed hard, and slowly walked out the door, step by step, towards the granary. He could no longer feel his left hand, but what he feared more was losing his life. That young man was truly a demon. At this moment, Song Yuliang didn't even dare to hate Shinhung. His mind was filled with Shun Heng's casual smile. You're quite tough. I thought you would waste a lot of my time. Shinhung stood outside the corridor door, smiling at Song Yuliang. Song Yuliang almost jumped out of his skin. Seeing this smile, he was terrified. Please rest assured, sir. I promise I won't dare to again. Song Yuliang hurriedly forced a smile, bowed to Shinhung, his left hand swaying in the wind. Then, without looking back, he quickly walked towards the granary. Honey, why didn't you kill him? Hei Mao came out of the room, walked to Shinheng's side, and asked doubtfully, wouldn't it be better to just kill him? With their current abilities, they could easily take over the granary. Even if these people had guns, as long as they were a little careful, they wouldn't pose any threat to them. Controlling one of them will make it much less troublesome to act later. Besides, our target is not just the Song family, but also Song Jinming. Shinheng's smile disappeared. That bastard dared to have ideas about Xian. I'll let him know what happens when you dare to have ideas about my woman. Honey, all you know is how to dote on Sister Xian. Hei Mao's face was sour. Shinhung patted her butt. What are you saying? You sound so jealous. Did you learn that from Chin Shin? Hei Mao still pouted. Shinhung smiled and gently kissed her on the lips. To me, all of you are equally important. Coveting my women will not end well. Even that Wang Qingguang who harassed you back then. Of course, if he's still alive by then, I'll make him wish he were dead. I was just kidding, honey. Hei Mao took the initiative to hug Shinhung and kiss him. A moment later, Shinheng's WeChat chimed. He took it out and saw it was a message from Song Yuliang. Sir, I am Song Yuliang. I have gathered everyone in the granary. What are your next instructions? Shinhung put away his mobile phone, took out the snowmobile, and with Hei Mao and Chun Mingting, drove to the entrance of the granary. Inside the granary, rice, wheat, corn, and various other grains were piled up like mountains. All the Song family members were standing on the corridor, looking at Song Yuliang with confusion. Third uncle, why did you gather everyone here? Weren't we supposed to continue milling flour and rice? Song Yinming stood next to Song Yuliang, his face full of confusion. In front of them stood dozens of Song family members, also looking bewildered. How the hell should I know why I gathered you here? I'm just following orders. Of course, Song Yuliang wouldn't say that. He coughed lightly. I feel that we need to divide some people out to take turns on guard duty. If anyone approaches the granary, we can spot them immediately and be prepared for battle. That's not necessary, Song Yinming retorted with a frown. It's so cold outside. Who would be willing to go out? Besides, if someone wanted to approach the granary, how could they do it silently? This granary is surrounded by desolate mountains and forests. The few one-story houses have long been frozen solid by the snow. The surrounding area is all flat land. How could anyone walk here without freezing to death? Wouldn't they freeze to death? Even if everyone took turns on guard duty outside, no one would agree. The weather is so cold. Standing outside for a while, you'd feel your whole body freeze. Hearing Song Yinming's words, everyone nodded in agreement. Although it was cold in the granary, and everyone was tired from moving grain, at least they were moving their bodies and felt much more comfortable. If they stood outside, wouldn't they freeze to death? The third young master is right. If some idiot really walked here, they would have frozen into an ice sculpture long ago. Song Yuliang's face remained unchanged. He glanced at Song Yinming. You idiot. If there were guards, would I have been snuck up on, captured, and fed a poison worm? My left hand is useless now, all because you idiots can't stand the cold. Now someone has really come in. What the hell do you guys know? What if someone really came in? Song Yuliang frowned and shouted. Third uncle, it won't happen. Song Yinming waved his hand confidently. Even if someone really walked here without freezing to death, what energy would he have left? We have guns in our hands. Isn't one shot per person enough? You're too arrogant. The large door of the granary was pushed open by someone, making a creaking sound. Then, a light voice was heard. Song Yinming suddenly turned his head. The next moment, he saw Shun Hung, leading He Mao, and Chen Mingting, swaggering in. All three of them were holding automatic rifles. Before everyone could react, the muzzles of the three guns flashed. In an instant, intense gunfire echoed throughout the granary, and the Song family members, who were standing in line waiting for Song Yuliang's speech, were like harvested wheat, falling to the ground one after another. Song Yinming was stunned. When he came to his senses, he saw that the crowd of Song family members behind him had all fallen to the ground. Each and every one of them had stopped breathing. He suddenly trembled and hurriedly reached into his chest. But before he could pull out his gun, Chen Mingting's muzzle was pressed against his back. Song Yinming's body stiffened. Don't shoot. He trembled and raised both hands, signaling his surrender. Song Yuliang, well done. Shen Hung walked over and patted Song Yuliang's shoulder. You killed them all. Song Yuliang's eyes widened, and he roared. You? Why did you kill them? These are the elites of the Song family, and the most loyal subordinates. And they were all killed by 3 automatic rifles? His mind went blank, and he almost fainted. Third uncle, you know them? Song Yinming was stunned, glaring at Song Yuliang. You only told me to gather them just now. You didn't say you wanted to kill them. Seeing that Shun Hung didn't say anything more, Song Yuliang gritted his teeth and shouted, Why did you do this? Song Yuliang, Shun Hung said coldly, watch your tone. Song Yuliang's expression stiffened slightly. But he couldn't say a word. Third uncle, you betrayed the Song family. Are you crazy? Although Song Yinming was a playboy, he wasn't stupid. He clearly heard that these 3 people knew his third uncle. Moreover, his third uncle seemed to have some weakness in their hands, so he completely obeyed them. Call Song Yinming. Tell him the shelter sent people to attack, and you suffered heavy losses. Shen Hung ordered. The loyal subordinates of the Song family desperately protected you, but your left wrist was seriously injured. You want to kill me yourself? Song Yuliang's eyes widened. On the side, Song Yinming was also anxious. Just as he was about to open his mouth to scold him, Chen Mingting's muzzle once again poked him in the back. Song Yinming honestly shut his mouth. The others desperately escorted Song Yinming to escape. Song Yinming is currently missing, Shen Hung then said. Just report it to him like that. Song Yuliang powerlessly lowered his head. Shen Hung tied up Song Yinming. After stuffing a rag from the processing workshop into his mouth, Song Yuliang dialed the phone. Hello. Third uncle, what's wrong? Song Yinming's relaxed voice came from the phone. My side is almost settled. I should be able to transport all the supplies from home to the granary this afternoon. Relying on the granary, the Song family can become the true overlord of Jiangqing. Yinming, the granary was attacked. The people from the shelter have come. Song Yuliang took a deep breath, his face filled with emotion, and shouted into the phone. Shen Hung pointed his muzzle to the sky and pulled the trigger right next to the phone. Rat-a-tat-tat, clack, clack. He Mao and Chen Mingting followed suit, continuously firing their guns into the air. In an instant, intense gunfire was transmitted through the phone. The people from the shelter have come? Song Yinming was stunned for a moment, then hurriedly asked, What's the battle situation? Jinming, my left hand is crippled. The Song family has suffered heavy losses, but the other side also has many dead. Can you provide support? If not, we can only retreat. Yinming is also missing now, Song Yuliang said anxiously. Beside him, Song Yinming's eyes widened. I'm not missing. I'm right in front of you. Are you blind? Third uncle, if you can hold on, try to hold on for a while. I'll be there right away. Song Jinming hurriedly hung up the phone. I've done as you said, Song Yuliang said bitterly to Shen Hong. What about that worm? When everything is over, we'll talk. Shen Hong waved his sleeve, not paying any more attention to Song Yuliang. He escorted Song Yinming out of the granary, threw him onto the snowmobile, and then, with a wave of his hand, all the nearly 10,000 tons of grain in the entire granary were instantly collected into his space. Are you a man or a ghost? Song Yuliang stood frozen on the spot, watching the warehouse that was originally filled with various grains suddenly become empty in an instant. His face was filled with horror. Moreover, he realized that this young man had just waved his hand, as if performing magic, and the entire granary was empty. Not a single grain was left. He looked around in a daze, even rubbing his eyes. Just wait for Song Jinming to arrive. Shen Hong didn't explain, just smiled at him. Then he walked towards the warehouse in the east, which was filled with cotton and dried vegetables. With a wave of his hand, the entire warehouse was also completely empty. Shen Hong didn't even spare the machines in the processing workshop, collecting them all. Only then did he get on the snowmobile and drive away from the grain storage center. Where are you taking me? Realizing that the snowmobile under him was silent and incredibly warm, Song Yinming was completely shocked. No wonder third uncle said those things just now. Such a high-end snowmobile. How have I never heard of it before? It's even smoother than an electric car. Taking you to the Song family estate, Shen Hong smiled. When Song Jinming received Song Yuliang's call, he would definitely be anxious and lead his men to this granary to check the situation. The Song family's main base would naturally be empty. This was a great opportunity to break into his house. Shen Hong could easily deal with Song Jinming now, but he wouldn't let him die so easily. Conspiring with outsiders, secretly killing his own brother, and even having improper intentions towards his sister-in-law. He was truly worse than a beast. Especially the last one. Daring to have ideas about my Qin Xian, how could I possibly let him die so easily? Coincidentally, the vending machine had just been upgraded and still needed a large sum of money. Raiding the Song family's assets could also conveniently increase his experience. Over 5.2 billion was indeed not a small number. Song Yinming was shocked. These three people were not only targeting the granary, but they even had designs on his Song family. If you don't tell me now, I'll call my friend's son tomorrow to ask him. I can still find out the location of the Song family, Shen Hong said coldly. Song Yinming stammered. I'll talk. Don't kill me. I'll tell you everything. Half an hour later, the silent snowmobile arrived in front of a large building. The Song group. The Song family's manor had been buried after the heavy snow fell. Song Jinming led a group of Song family members, moved all the supplies to the Song group's office building, and temporarily stayed there. Then he met Wang Peng and learned that the grain storage center was unguarded. Song Jinming then decided to move the Song family's base there. Control the granary, and you can rule the entire Jiangqing. At that time, I will be the king of Jiangqing. Everything was going very smoothly. The area around the grain storage center was all farming households. The one-story houses had been covered by heavy snow, and there was no one around. And the other people far away seemed not to have reacted yet, wanting to occupy this place. The Song family easily killed the two on-duty staff members guarding here, then occupied the grain storage center. Next, the Song family brought all the strong and core members over. Just 2 days ago, a few people from the shelter came to this place, wanting to transport grain back to the shelter, but they were eliminated by the Song family. This also made Song Jinming decide to move quickly. The Song family had few snowmobiles, so he went to the Lin family and proposed to borrow their vehicles. After the Lin family refused, Song Jinming did not hesitate to shoot and kill the head of the Lin family, then seized the snowmobiles. Seizing the time, everyone left. The only regret was that the Lin family's daughter, Linlu, was still missing. However, once I control the granary, what kind of woman can I have? Just as Song Jinming was full of ambition, had arranged the Song family's supplies and was preparing to implement his grand plan, he suddenly received a call from Song Yuliang. Song Zhiming was anxious. The shelter had sent more firepower and suppressed the granary. The Song family suffered heavy losses. He hurriedly called the remaining young and strong members of the Song family and hastily drove the snowmobiles away. When they drove the snowmobiles away, Shun Hung was standing in a hidden corner of the high-rise building, watching them leave. 14 snowmobiles, packed with people, over 60 people. It was really a big operation. Shun Hung smiled faintly, turned his head to look at Song Yinming. You said that now inside this high-rise building, there are only some old and weak women and children left, right? A trace of fear flashed in Song Yinming's eyes. Shun Hung and the others entered the Song group's high-rise building. Under the guidance of Song Yinming, they quickly reached the 15th floor. According to what Song Yinming had said, all the Song family members were here. Moreover, the supplies had already been transported from the Song family manor to this side. He Mao deployed her ability, connecting her mind with Shun Hung. In Shun Heng's mind, the situation of each surrounding office appeared. Each office had been converted into a temporary base. In many rooms, there were groups of 3 or 5 people packing clothes and personal belongings. However, the psychic power of these people was very weak. The gray spots were dim, completely incomparable to strong adult men. Shun Hung leaned against the corner of the wall, his mind sinking into his consciousness space. He searched in the vending machine for a while, his eyes stopping on a stick of agarwood. Below it was a line of notes. Nourishes the mind and calms the spirit. Fall asleep in 3 seconds, giving you a beautiful dream. The best weapon for insomniacs. On one side were the 4 words, Eternal Quality Assurance, Systems, Strict Selection. One stick was 28,000, more expensive than the incense for worshipping at Mount Wutai. However, this little bit of money was just a drop in the bucket for Shun Hung. He bought it directly, then bought 3 spirit-enhancing pills strictly selected by the system, along with 3 extremely windproof and breathable masks. After He Mao and Chen Mingting took them, Shun Hung also swallowed one. The 3 of them then put on their masks. Song Yinming stood watching the 3 of them, completely baffled. Taking pills, I have experience with that. It's normal for a brother to have trouble getting it up. But wearing masks, what kind of play is this? Next, he saw Shun Hung take out a stick of agarwood and light it. He was completely confused. What is this worship for? Immediately after, he felt his eyelids grow heavy. Shun Hung had just lit the agarwood. He heard Song Yinming start to snore. He couldn't help but exclaim, the system is too awesome. He quickly tightened his mask, signaled the 2 girls to follow, pushed Song Yinming into a corner, and the 3 of them quickly left. Song Yinming's eyes were closed, a smile on his face, as if he were rampaging in his dreams without needing to remember the medicine. Shun Hung walked to an office door and pushed it open. Who are you? In the room, 2 old women were packing clothes and personal belongings. They looked up and saw the 3 of them, their faces full of surprise. Just as they opened their mouths, they immediately felt dizzy and fell onto the bed. Shun Hung walked straight in, collected all the items in the room, took the mobile phones from the old women, used their fingerprints to unlock them, and then transferred all the money from their phones to his WeChat account. Leaving the empty room, he continued to the next one. Before long, all the belongings in the rooms were completely cleaned out by Shun Hung. And in these people's mobile phones, there was also a lot of money, all of which was transferred by Shun Hung. It's a pity that these items are not mine, so I can't sell them back to the system to recover the cost. I'll have Gui Yubong sell them to merchants when I get back. After all, they are from the Song family, and everyone is used to living in luxury. The clothes they buy are all famous brands, and the quality is not bad. I believe they can be sold at a high price. They're just discarded items anyway. Shun Hung was in a good mood. In a short while, he had taken more than 80 million from these Song family members. Moreover, these Song family women, even when moving out of the Song family manor, still brought all kinds of jewelry. The system, on the other hand, did not refuse this gold and silver. Shun Hung collected it all, and another 50 million was in his hands. In just a short while, he had earned more than 100 million. Moreover, when these people wake up later, they will probably cry and complain to Song Zhiming. At that time, Song Zhiming will probably be very busy. He was about to leave with the two girls when he suddenly remembered something. He frowned. What's wrong? Chen Mingting asked curiously. I always feel that something is not right. Shun Hung murmured. You said these women all brought gold and silver. The dignified Song family. Could it be that they don't have some reserves? Mio Mio. Hei Mao obediently replied, closed her eyes, and her psychic power enveloped the surroundings. A moment later, she pointed to the largest office not far away, her face full of doubt, and said, That room is the largest and most luxurious. It must be Song Jinming's. The things in that room have already been cleaned out by me, Shun Hung said strangely. There's nothing else. Wait. Hei Mao shook her head, pushed the door open, and walked in. Shen Hung and Chen Mingting hurriedly followed. There's something behind this wall. Hei Mao pointed to a wall on the west side. It was a large bookshelf, filled with all kinds of books. She quickly walked to the bookshelf, pulled out a book titled A Brief History of Time from the fourth row, and then pushed hard on the bookshelf. The bookshelf trembled slightly, and the middle part of the entire bookshelf, as if fixed, rotated like a door and opened completely. Under the astonished gazes of Shun Hung and Chen Mingting, they saw that behind the bookshelf was a small room, filled with leather chests. Some of the chests were even open, all filled with cash. So it was all here. Shen Hang's eyes lit up. He quickly walked in and collected all the chests. Some contained cash, but most were gold bars. These things fell into his space and were immediately sucked in by the vending machine, which gave a purchase price. 570 million. I didn't expect this trip to earn me 700 million. A huge profit. Shen Hung looked at the empty room, a smile on his face. He didn't know if Song Jinming would vomit blood from anger when he found out all his assets had been stolen. However, at this moment, he suddenly heard hurried footsteps from behind. He suddenly turned his head and saw a young girl holding a dagger, charging straight at him. You people from the Song family, all of you go to hell. The woman's eyes were full of hatred, and with a desperate determination, she rushed in front of Shen Hong. She was just an ordinary person, naturally posing no threat to Shen Hong. The dagger in her hand had just reached Shen Hang's front when he grabbed her wrist and twisted it. She cried out in pain and instinctively let go. The dagger fell to the ground with a clatter. There were still fresh bloodstains on the dagger. Who are you? Shen Hang frowned, looking at the girl in front of him. Honey, she's so beautiful. Hei Mao and Chen Mingting turned their heads and exclaimed. Although the girl in front of them had messy hair, her features were exquisite, her eyes bright, and her eyebrows shapely. Even though her eyes were filled with a strong hatred, it couldn't hide her beautiful face. Although Shen Hung already had several stunning beauties, seeing this girl, he couldn't help but feel a little moved. It was indeed as Hei Mao and Chen Mingting said, this was a true beauty. Her wrist was still held by Shen Hong, and he could clearly feel her soft skin. You bastards from the Song family. She bit her lower lip, glared fiercely at Shen Hong, then turned her head away and closed her eyes. Anyway, I've already killed Song Yinming. I've gotten my revenge. You're from the Lin family? That Linlu. Shen Hong suddenly remembered the conversation between Song Yinming and Song Yuliang and asked. Yes, Linlu said coldly. A hint of regret flashed in her eyes. After killing Song Yinming, she should have run away immediately. It was a pity that she was still blinded by hatred. After her father was killed by Song Jinming, the Lin family fell into chaos. Under the desperate protection of several bodyguards, she managed to escape. But the Song family was still hunting her, and the bodyguards by her side were killed one by one. Linlu didn't run far. She knew that in this cold winter, without supplies, she would only die if she dragged it out. Rather than waiting to die, or being captured and humiliated by the Song family, it was better to sneak into the Song group's high-rise building and kill whoever she could, as revenge for her father. For more than a day, she had been hiding in another building next to the Song group, silently observing and waiting for an opportunity. And just now, she saw Song Jinming hastily leading a large number of subordinates, all of whom left the Song group. This meant that now the entire high-rise building was left with only some old people, women, and children. I can't deal with those men, but can I kill these women? From the building she was in, she couldn't see Shen Hung hiding in the corner. After going downstairs, she ran over. On the way up to the 15th floor, she nervously clutched her dagger. Suddenly, she saw Song Yinming lying on the ground, and she was startled. The third young master of the Song family? She quickly hid, but then she heard Song Yinming snoring. This made her a little confused. The third young master of the Song family was sleeping on the floor? Linlu tiptoed past Song Yinming and found that he was sleeping like a log. Linlu hesitated for a moment, took a deep breath, gritted her teeth, and stabbed straight into Song Yinming's throat. Song Yinming never expected that while he was having a sweet dream, he would die inexplicably. Linlu pulled out the dagger and quietly walked in. The entire corridor was silent. When Linlu gently pushed open the door of an office, she found that there were two old women lying on the bed, also snoring softly. They were also asleep. Only then did Linlu realize that something was wrong. Then she checked the other rooms and found that everyone in them was sleeping like a log. This made her feel a little strange. However, this might be her only chance. She heard some conversation coming from Song Yinming's office and tiptoed over. At that time, Shun Hung and the three of them were all attracted by the gold and silver behind the bookshelf, and their attention was drawn away. They didn't notice that someone had secretly stood at the door. Linlu sized up the three of them, 2 women and 1 man. They had opened Song Yinming's secret room, so it could be seen that these 3 people must also be important members of the Song family. First kill the man, and the remaining 2 women would naturally be easier to deal with. So, Linlu rushed straight at Shun Hung with the dagger. Your Song family has been looking for me, right? A sarcastic smile appeared on Linlu's face. However, I've already gotten my money's worth. Your Song family's 3rd young master has been killed by me. Song Yinming is dead. Shun Hung was surprised. He didn't expect that before he could make a move, this Linlu would kill him first. But dead is dead. But at this moment, Linlu suddenly gritted her teeth, and her left hand pulled out an even smaller dagger from her waist, suddenly stabbing it towards her own chest. She was very clear about her beautiful face, and she knew that Song Yinming had been looking for her, definitely with some intentions. She would rather commit suicide than be humiliated by them. This exquisite small dagger was deliberately hidden by Linlu, not to harm others, but in case she fell into the hands of the Song family, to be used for suicide. She was very clear about what kind of person Song Yinming was. Once captured, she would probably wish she were dead. As the daughter of the Lin family, even if she died, she would never let others insult her. From the very beginning, Linlu had come with the determination to fight to the death. Killing 1 was breaking even. Killing 2 was a profit. And the person she killed was Song Yinming, the 3rd young master of the Song family. She clenched the dagger and stabbed it hard into her chest. But as soon as she made a move, Shun Hung noticed. His palm turned into a blade and struck her wrist hard. With a clank, the small dagger fell to the ground. Linlu's face changed completely. Unexpectedly, she couldn't even commit suicide. But then, she heard the man in front of her say coolly, "We are not from the Song family." Linlu was stunned. She looked up at Shun Heng in surprise. They could even open the Song family's secret room, and yet they said they were not from the Song family? He Mao also smiled. "We have no relationship with the Song family, Miss Lin. You've misunderstood." She and Chen Mingting had heard Song Youliang's conversation before. After knowing Linlu's identity, she smiled faintly and said, "Didn't you notice that all the Song family members were sleeping on your way here?" "That's true." Linlu nodded instinctively. "Then do you think they would suddenly all fall asleep during the day?" He Mao asked again. Linlu's eyes widened. It was you. No wonder the 3rd young master of the Song family was still sleeping on the floor. It turned out to be the work of these 3 people in front of her. She turned her head again and glanced at the empty secret room and immediately understood. "You also have a grudge against the Song family?" Linlu asked. She was a little puzzled. In such a harsh environment, and with it snowing outside at this moment, these 3 people didn't go looking for supplies, but instead entered the secret room. There must be some gold, silver, and treasures of the Song family in this secret room. But these things are basically useless in the apocalypse. What were they thinking? What do you think? He Mao said with a smile. Linlu said nothing. She knew that asking was a waste of breath. If there was no grudge, would these people come to the Song group's high-rise building, knock out all the Song family members, and steal their property? There is a saying, "The enemy of my enemy is my friend." Moreover, He Mao and Chen Mingting were both as beautiful as flowers. Linlu let go of her defensiveness and vigilance. Let's go. Shinhung quickly walked out. We still have to go back to the granary. Although the snowmobile, carefully selected by the system, was much faster than Song Jinming's and could reach the grain storage center one step ahead, they had spent a lot of time at the high-rise building. It was time. He Mao and Chun Mingting nodded and followed behind Shinhung. Linlu stood in place and frowned slightly. Although these two girls were also very beautiful, on par with herself, why did this young man not even look at her? Am I that bad? Wait a minute. She gritted her teeth and said, You just said you were going to the granary. Are you from the shelter? The Song family occupied the granary and fought with the shelter. The shelter suffered losses. She had heard about these things. It was because of this that the Song family accelerated their move, forcing the Lin family to hand over their snowmobiles, which led to her father's tragic death. It seems that the shelter, in a fit of anger, has launched a powerful counterattack, not only to retake the granary, but even to destroy the Song family. A glimmer of hope flashed in Lin Lu's eyes. To be able to witness the destruction of the Song family with her own eyes, even if it wasn't by her own hands, was enough to comfort her father's soul in the afterlife. No, Shinhung replied, extinguishing her hope. Then you guys, what are you going to the granary for? Lin Lu murmured. Not from the shelter? But how could they live so freely and comfortably? Just to give Song Jinming a nice surprise. Shinhung frowned. The Song group has been cleaned out. I really want to see how Song Jinming will react after learning this good news. Then can you take me with you? Lin Lu asked cautiously. These three people in front of her had no ill intentions towards her. She had just tried to assassinate this man, but he didn't pursue the matter. Moreover, they also had a grudge against the Song family, so they were on the same side. Shinhing looked at the person lying on the ground not far away. Song Yinming's blood was all over the ground, and he was completely dead. The snowmobile was empty, so it was actually possible for Lin Lu to sit in it. Moreover, although Lin Lu hadn't washed her face for a few days, she still exuded an astonishing charm. All right. Shinhung looked at Lin Lu a few times and then averted his gaze. He walked down the stairs. Lin Lu hurriedly followed behind him. He Mao walked at the very back. She stared at Lin Lu's back for a while. Could it be that my husband has other intentions? But then again, now the four sisters together can't beat my husband. My period is coming soon, and the other three will probably have to beg for mercy continuously. As long as my husband's body can handle it, adding Lin Lu is not a big deal. Moreover, Lin Lu is the young lady of the Lin family, so her status is a good match for my husband. Let's see how it goes. If Lin Lu doesn't have a spoiled young lady's temper, and is also to my husband's taste, then let her be the fifth mistress of the villa. Shinhung had no idea that He Mao, this mistress, was once again planning for him. From this moment on, she had already secretly interviewed Lin Lu. When they got outside the high-rise building, Lin Lu took the initiative to speak. My snowmobile is over there. Let me go get it. She pointed to the opposite side, another office building. She had mainly relied on this snowmobile to escape from the Lin family before. No need. Shinhung waved his hand. If they took Lin Lu's snowmobile, it would definitely not be fast. He didn't bother to hide it. With a wave of his hand, that high-speed silent snowmobile appeared in front of the three of them. The two girls were used to it. They knew their husband's ability. But Lin Lu was scared out of her wits, her eyes wide with disbelief. This suddenly appeared? Am I seeing things? Shinhung and the two girls had already gotten into the car. He turned his head to look at Lin Lu. Aren't you going? Ah, yes. Coming. Lin Lu, despite her shock, cautiously sat in the back row with He Mao. She observed the high-tech equipment inside the car, feeling as if she were in a dream. She had driven many snowmobiles, but she had never seen one so luxurious and extravagant. The car started without making any sound. The speed was very fast, and it glided smoothly and steadily. Moreover, the snowmobile was equipped with an intelligent control system. As soon as they got in the car, Shinhung only needed to input Jiangcheng Grain Storage Center on the central screen. Then he picked up his phone and sent a WeChat message. And Chen Mingting in the passenger seat pulled open a drawer, which was filled with fresh fruits. Chen Mingting took the initiative to pick a grape and feed it to Shinhung's mouth. Honey, is it delicious? Shinhung nodded, his eyes fixed on his mobile phone. He Mao pulled open the drawer in the back row and said to the dazed Lin Lu, Help yourself. Don't be polite. Ah, thank you. Linlu looked at the rosy apple and swallowed slightly. She hadn't eaten any fruit for several days, and she was hungry. She simply couldn't resist the temptation of the fruit. Although the apple was very fragrant, she was still very ladylike, taking small bites. It's so delicious. Linlu was almost moved to tears. This was the most delicious apple she had ever eaten in her life. Her movements were elegant. Haimao secretly observed Linlu and nodded slightly. Then, she picked up a few cherries and took the initiative to feed them to Shunheng's mouth. Honey, try the cherries. Since Chun Mingting became Shunheng's woman, Shunheng had clearly been spending more time with her. At night, everyone was together, but during the day, her husband always took her out. This gave Haimao a sense of crisis, which was one of the reasons she wanted Linlu to become the fifth mistress. Linlu was so beautiful, and her noble and elegant temperament could naturally attract a lot of her husband's attention. As the self-proclaimed head of the harem, she wanted to maintain the balance in Shunheng's harem. Linlu, who was nibbling on a small piece of apple, was completely stunned when she heard this. With a dazed expression, she turned to look at Haimao, then at Chun Mingting in the passenger seat. Wait a minute, these two beautiful girls are both this man's wives? I didn't mishear just now, did I? Linlu cautiously glanced at Shunheng. Seeing that he and Chun Mingting were not paying attention to her, she leaned closer to Haimao and whispered, You called him honey? Haimao had been actively talking to her just now, and she seemed to have a good personality. Yes, Haimao nodded. Then is she also? Linlu pointed to Chun Mingting. Yes, she is also my husband's wife. The fourth wife? Haimao replied. Also my husband's wife. Sister, do you want to hear what you're saying? Linlu hadn't even had time to process this, but then another unexpected sentence made her eyes widen. Wait, fourth wife? That is to say, he also has. There are two more sisters at home, Haimao smiled. Linlu was completely numb. She turned her head in shock and looked at Shunheng, the young master who was leaning back in his chair and still texting on WeChat, while Chun Mingting in the passenger seat gently offered him water and fruit. And Haimao beside her, her eyes looking at Shunheng were also full of tenderness, without a trace of jealousy because Chun Mingting was sitting in the passenger seat. Sister, haven't you been brainwashed by him? Linlu really wanted to ask Haimao, but since she didn't know her well, she decided not to say it. Shunheng naturally heard the conversation between the two girls, but he didn't think it was a big deal. He continued to communicate with Guiyubang. Guiyubang's side was progressing very quickly. With Rin Jie guarding, and a group of underlings with guns, they easily controlled Yangwang City. After beating down a few bullies who were running rampant in the community, the entire community became obedient. Then they began to carry out transactions in an orderly manner. Moreover, Yangwang City was different from Taoyuan community. The people in Yangwang City had been hungry for several days. Now that they heard someone was selling supplies, everyone was very enthusiastic. They rushed downstairs, waving their mobile phones to buy. Rin Jie, having had previous experience, deliberately had his underlings carry guns and stand 3 meters apart, watching intently. Under the threat of the guns, this group of residents honestly traded, and no fool dared to actively cause trouble. Besides, they were selling supplies, not robbing. However, the price was indeed no different from robbery. A pack of instant noodles sold for 100 yuan, which was truly exorbitant. Many people felt it was unfair, but they operated on the principle of willing buyer, willing seller. Besides, everyone was already starving. Who would care about 1 or 200 yuan anymore? These people probably didn't even know that in Taoyuan community, at the same time, a pack of instant noodles was sold for 10,000. Later, Shunheng, in order to increase sales, adopted a policy of small profits and quick turnover. Guiyubang reported the latest progress and also said that Rin Jie had already started recruiting underlings in the community. Hearing that they would be provided with free supplies, everyone was enthusiastic and actively signed up. Shunheng was in a good mood and continued to give instructions. Continue to transport supplies and sell them. Yes, boss, Guiyubang replied quickly. This side is stable. Rin Jie has already taken some people to the nearby Shanshui Wenyuan. The progress is smooth. Shunheng was also in a good mood. He hugged Chun Mingting and kissed her. What? Kissing again? Linlu's eyes widened. She secretly glanced at Hei Mao beside her, but Hei Mao didn't react at all, still smiling, as if she didn't see this scene at all. Sister, they're kissing. You don't even react? This is really too much. Linlu felt that her entire worldview had collapsed. The car drove steadily. A moment later, Shenheng saw a convoy of snowmobiles ahead. It was Song Jiming's group. Linlu obviously saw it too. She frowned, looking at the convoy ahead with hatred. Shenheng tapped the screen a few times, and his snowmobile quickly turned to one side. Fortunately, they had just left the city, and there were still many tall buildings around. They could block Song Jiming's view. When Shenheng drove to the grain storage center, Song Jiming was nowhere to be seen. Looking at the grain storage center, Linlu was both nervous and excited. She whispered, "Are we going to burn the granary? If we burn the granary, Song Jiming will probably be furious." Shenheng smiled and shook his head. With a wave of his hand, the snowmobile disappeared without a trace. Then he strode into the yard. There are still Song family members here. Shouldn't we avoid them? Linlu was still shocked by Shenheng's trick, but seeing the three of them swaggering in, a worried look appeared on her face. Hei Mao turned her head and smiled. "Just follow us. These people seem very confident." However, Song Jiming has dozens of people. There are also his subordinates sent here. Moreover, the Song family members have guns. You guys are too blindly confident. Linlu was speechless. Seeing that the three of them had already entered the yard, she hurriedly followed behind. Along the way, she looked around, being very careful, afraid of being discovered by others. What she found strange was that they walked straight to the entrance of the granary without finding any Song family members. The entire grain storage center was strangely quiet, as if no one lived there. Linlu was startled by this thought and hurriedly moved closer to Hei Mao. At this time, Shenheng had already reached the entrance of the granary. He reached out and pushed open the large door. Linlu's eyes widened, and she almost screamed in fear. So arrogant? But in the next moment, she saw that the entire granary inside was empty, with only Song Yuliang sitting there in a daze. Not far away on the ground, there were piles of corpses. Hearing the sound of the large door from behind, Song Yuliang hurriedly turned his head. But when he saw Shenheng, he trembled all over. Song Yuliang. Linlu's eyes were fixed on Song Yuliang. This was also one of the important members of the Song family. She quietly clenched the dagger in her hand. However, Song Yuliang's reaction surprised her. "Sir, you've arrived." Song Yuliang forced a smile and trotted to Shenheng. "This?" Linlu was a little confused. "Just now, Song Jiming called me a few times, but I was afraid of being exposed, so I didn't dare to answer. I'm waiting for your instructions, sir." Song Yuliang respectfully asked for instructions again. His obsequious appearance made Linlu feel as if she were dreaming. Is this still the arrogant and domineering Song Yuliang? Even when facing my father, he was so arrogant. How did he end up like this now? Very good. Shenheng patted Song Yuliang's shoulder with satisfaction. "That?" Song Yuliang cautiously asked. "I have followed your instructions, gathered the people, and called Song Jinming." "Sir, now, can you take out that worm?" "What's the hurry?" Shenheng smiled. "You've waited so long. What's a few more minutes? I'll let you watch a good show." Thinking of the scene where Shenheng used an automatic rifle to kill all the elites of the Song family, Song Yuliang shivered. But it's better to sacrifice a friend than to die yourself. Although Song Jinming was his beloved nephew, to survive now, he could only sacrifice him. Shenheng brought the others back to the office building and found an office in the corner. This room faced the large door of the granary. Before long, Song Jinming's group arrived at the grain storage center. Shenheng and the others were engrossed in watching the show from the window. On one side, Song Yuliang wanted to speak but hesitated. Seeing the Song family members foolishly entering the grain storage center compound below, he closed his eyes in despair. "Everyone, be careful." Song Jinming drew his pistol, pulled the safety, and turned to instruct his subordinates. According to what third uncle said, the shelter sent a lot of people. Hearing the sound on the phone, the firepower was very strong. Perhaps, now the granary has. Thinking of this, Song Jinming became even more cautious. A group of people stuck to the wall and quietly moved towards the large door of the granary. The large door was still wide open. Seeing the wide-open granary door, Song Jinming's expression became even more serious. However, The closer he got, the more he didn't hear any sound from inside. Song Jinming pointed to a subordinate beside him, signaling him to quietly check the situation. He was very precious of his life and naturally couldn't put himself in danger. The subordinate was a little unhappy, but facing the family head's command, he could only brace himself and quietly move forward. He walked to the large door and carefully peeked his head in, checking the situation inside bit by bit. His head went in deeper and deeper, his eyes wide open, full of disbelief. Song Jinming and the others were hiding nearby, their guns aimed at the large door. As soon as someone stepped out, they would immediately open fire. But he saw that the subordinate then walked straight into the large door. Is this guy crazy? Song Jinming cursed silently, then turned his head to command everyone to get ready. This idiot has probably alerted all the people in the shelter. Maybe in the next second, a surprise cry will come from inside. Family head, the granary is empty. There's nothing left. But there's a pile of corpses. All of them are our Song family's people. What? Song Jinming was stunned. Then he stood up and quickly rushed in. As soon as he entered the granary, his legs went soft and he fell to his knees. The entire warehouse was empty of grain, the ground was clean. And not far away, there were numerous corpses lying in disarray. How could this be? We've counted. A total of 40 corpses. All of them are our Song family's people. The third young master and the third uncle are missing. Song Jinming sat on the ground in a daze. A subordinate came over and reported in a low voice. Are they all our people? Is there no one we don't recognize? Only then did Song Jinming turn his head, his eyes lifeless, without a trace of vitality. His initial ambition, along with the grain, had flown away without a trace, completely dissipated. Without grain, what's the point of talking about the Song family's rise? Let alone rising. Everyone will probably starve to death. They are all our Song family's people, the subordinate said quickly. Also, we just checked the processing workshop and the warehouse in the east. The things inside have also disappeared. The entire warehouse is empty. Even the processing equipment is gone. Why did this happen? In Song Jinming's mind, only these 5 words remained. He couldn't figure out what kind of power could take away all the grain in the warehouse. Nearly 10,000 tons of grain. How many people would it take to move it all? Moreover, all our Song family members are dead, but not a single hair of the enemy could be seen. And the processing equipment. Thinking of those huge, monster-like machines, Song Jinming's body trembled. He said in a trembling voice, Xiaoyu, do you think there are ghosts in this world? Ghosts? The subordinate was stunned, then thought of the empty granary and also felt a chill run down his spine. When they approached the grain storage center, they had slowed down and carefully observed the snowmobile tracks leading into the center. There were only a few scattered tracks from before, not many. This had also made them feel a little relieved. It seemed that this shelter didn't have many people and could be fought. But when they entered the granary, the dead were all from the Song family. Their appearance showed that they had not taken out their weapons to resist. Instead, they seemed to have been gathered together and eliminated in an instant. What kind of power could gather so many people? However, the wounds on their bodies were all from bullets. But this was also difficult to explain. What was even more bizarre was the empty granary. Even such large processing equipment had disappeared, as if it had never existed. Can a snowmobile pull such large processing equipment? Song Jinming muttered to himself, his voice trembling. The more he thought, the more scared he became. He felt himself looking up and around, as if in those dark corners, there was a row of machine guns pointed at them. Retreat. Song Jinming took a deep breath. The cold air cleared his head a little. He shouted loudly, Don't bother with these corpses anymore. We're leaving first. Back to the Song group building. The other subordinates were also extremely scared and had been waiting for this sentence for a long time. Hearing the family head's instructions, everyone scrambled out of the granary and climbed over the courtyard wall one after another. But then, they all panicked. The snowmobiles parked here had disappeared. More than 10 snowmobiles, without any wool tracks leading out. On the snow, there were still traces of where they had been parked. The surrounding snow was white and vast, a silver expanse. But looking around, not a single one could be seen. Any snowmobile. In the dark corner behind the office building, Shun Heng's lips curled into a slight smile. When this group of people had just entered the granary, He had quietly gone out and collected all the snowmobiles into his space. It just so happened that Guiyubong and his team were expanding their territory and could use them. Where's the car? Where's the snowmobile? Outside the courtyard wall, Song Jinming's roar was heard. His voice carried a hint of a weak tremor. Family head. We've looked all around. There's nothing. A subordinate reported, stammering. It was too bizarre. So many things in the granary had mysteriously disappeared, and the Song family members had all died without resisting. Now, their snowmobiles had also disappeared. On the ground, there wasn't a single trace of them leaving. Many people thought of the word ghost that Song Jinming had just mentioned. Could it be that there really were ghosts? Everyone shivered and instinctively huddled together. Bang! Song Jinming fired a shot into the air and roared angrily. Don't crowd together. Take out your weapons and look around carefully. Then, his eyes scanned the surroundings, and he gritted his teeth and said, Come out for me. Who are you trying to scare with this ghost act? That was just him giving himself some courage. Song Jinming couldn't understand why the snowmobiles had disappeared without a sign, silently and without a sound. Once a snowmobile started, the sound was so loud that it could be heard clearly even in the granary. But he swore he hadn't heard a single sound just now. Moreover, with so many cars starting at the same time, the noise would have been deafening. It was impossible for no one to have heard it. The surroundings were silent, not a sound. Song Jinming, as if possessed, fired several shots in a row towards the surroundings. It was useless. He only heard the sound of the gunshots seeming to echo far away. The snowflakes still fell silently. It was as if in this entire world, only these abandoned people were left. Everyone also hurriedly held their guns and pointed them around. Ring, ring, ring. At this moment, the phone in Song Jinming's pocket rang. Everyone's hair stood on end. In an instant, they turned around, their guns pointed straight at Song Jinming. Damn it! Who are you looking at? Song Jinming cursed loudly. Everyone hurriedly lowered their heads, then looked around vigilantly. Hello. Seeing that it was his aunt calling, Song Jinming breathed a sigh of relief. He answered the phone. Auntie, what's wrong? We don't know what happened either. We just opened our eyes and woke up, and everything in the room was gone. His aunt's sobbing voice came from the phone. Even the bed sheets and quilts on the bed are gone. It's the same in everyone's room. Even what? Song Jinming's heart tightened, and he hurriedly pressed. How did the things in the rooms of the people in the Song group building also disappear? Even we saw Yinming's body in the corridor. And the bookshelf in your room was also opened, and the secret room inside was empty. Thud. Song Jinming's legs went soft, and he sat down on the snowy ground. Jinming? Jinming, are you listening? His aunt's voice came from the phone. We're so cold. The clothes on our bodies are gone too. Everyone is only wearing underwear. It's so cold. On the entire 15th floor, we can't find a single piece of cloth to cover ourselves. Didn't you drive the snowmobiles away? Hurry back. If we wait any longer, we'll freeze to death. Family head, are you all right? Several subordinates beside him hurriedly helped Song Jinming up. Song Jinming said absently, Yinming, you found Yinming's body? Yes, Yinming is dead. His head was almost severed. He died right on the corridor floor. His aunt cried. Although Song Jinming was wearing thick clothes, at this moment, he felt waves of cold air rising. Song Yinming was at the granary. How did he appear at the Song group building? Before, third uncle had called him and said the granary was attacked and Song Yinming was missing. The moment he received that call, he had hurriedly gathered his men and driven the snowmobiles here. But Song Yinming's body had bizarrely appeared at the Song group building. His face was ashen, without a drop of blood. Could it be that there really were ghosts? Song Jinming pinched his thigh hard. He frowned and looked at the white snow all around. The subordinates beside him looked at Song Jinming, their faces also filled with confusion and extreme anxiety. They had all heard the family head's phone call just now. Now, their home had also been robbed. Moreover, the third young master had clearly followed the third uncle to guard the granary. Why did he return to the Song group high-rise? What was even more bizarre was that at home, the old, weak, women, and children had all suddenly fallen into a deep sleep inexplicably. Then, the things in their rooms, along with the clothes on their bodies, all flew away without a trace. Song Jinming pinched his thigh hard again, gritted his teeth, and said, Now everyone follow me. We'll walk back to the Song group high-rise. Our family members are still there. We must hurry back, otherwise they will freeze to death. Song Jinming's cold gaze swept over everyone. I will not abandon any brother. Everyone line up. We will definitely be able to get back before dark. On the way back, the people in the last row will walk backwards. The people on both sides, pay attention to both sides. Observe the surroundings carefully. If there is any movement, open fire immediately. The people in the last row will rotate every 20 minutes to maintain their stamina. It had to be said that Song Jinming still had some talent. He was worried that there were unknown and bizarre things in the dark. He directly ordered the team to walk backwards, so that the people in the last row would walk backwards. In those horror movies, when everyone lined up to go back, wasn't it always the person in the last row who suddenly screamed and was then dragged away by something in the dark? It was still bright now, but just in case, Song Jinming still wanted to be careful. After all, there were only over 60 people left, and they couldn't afford any more accidents. Everyone hurriedly lined up. Song Jinming even took the initiative to stand in the last row, setting an example for the whole team. The others in the last row consciously turned around, vigilantly watching behind them. Listen to my command, Song Jinming shouted. Now we'll walk straight back. We must maintain our stamina. The people in the front, hold the compass and determine the direction carefully. If you get the direction wrong, I'll beat you to death. Yes. The few people in the front row hurriedly took out their compasses. Fortunately, the compasses had not lost their function. They quickly determined the correct direction and then moved forward. Of course, Song Jinming, like the people beside him, was walking backwards all the way. On the way, they maintained a posture of raising their guns, their fingers on the trigger. Once they found any abnormality, they would immediately open fire. At this moment, their psychology was extremely fragile. The gun in their hands gave them the last bit of courage and comfort. Shin Hung had already returned to the room upstairs at this time. He kicked Song Yuliang. You can go. I can go. Song Yuliang was overjoyed, then smiled wryly. That worm in my stomach. Can you take it out? Want to eat vinegar, huh? Shin Hung sneered. Just let that worm stay in your stomach for now. Let it build some feelings with you. I still need to find you. Song Yuliang's face turned pale, but he was afraid that Shin Hung would change his mind. He still hurriedly went downstairs and chased after Song Jinming's team. With his left hand injured, Song Yuliang couldn't run fast. Plus, he was old. After just a few steps, he was panting heavily. Moreover, he couldn't swing his arms when he ran, and his body was off balance. But now there were no snowmobiles, so he could only persevere and chase after them. He had to tell Song Jinming that Song Yinming had been taken away by a man and 2 women. And the grain was also taken away by the man here with a wave of his hand, disappearing completely without a trace. Of course, he couldn't say that he had gathered these Song family members together. Otherwise, even if he was Jinming's 3rd uncle, he would be punished by his family's law. Yes, their snowmobiles were also taken away by this man. He saw it with his own eyes. He ran panting all the way, and from a distance, he saw Song Jinming's group, with their black coats. In the snow, they looked like dozens of black ants, moving slowly. Jinming, Jinming, he called out as he ran from a distance. But the wind was strong, and the group of people seemed not to hear him. Song Yuliang chased for another distance. This time, the shape of the team was clearer. He hurriedly panted and shouted, Jinming, Song Jinming. Song Jinming was leading the team in a backward march, still moving forward. Suddenly, he heard a sound coming from the opposite direction. Listening carefully, it seemed to be calling his name. Song Jinming was instantly scared out of his wits. The cold wind was biting, and Song Yuliang's voice, when it reached him, had become a little blurry. Ming, Song Jun, Ming. The sound echoed in the cold wind, as if whispering in his ear. It made one's hair stand on end. Song Jinming instantly thought of the great King Silverhorn in Journey to the West. Ugly in appearance, holding a purple gold gourd, aimed at Sun Wukong. I call you once, do you dare to answer? If I answered, wouldn't I disappear mysteriously? Moreover, looking closely, a black shadow was rushing towards him. The black shadow swayed, running unsteadily, but its speed was extremely fast. Die! He didn't hesitate at all, directly aimed at the black shadow, and suddenly opened fire. The others in the last row also saw the black shadow. Their faces tensed, and without hesitation, they opened fire with the family head. Bang, 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 rat-a-tat-tat. In an instant, all kinds of gunshots rang out continuously. And the black shadow, in an instant, froze in place, trembling nonstop with each gunshot until everyone, as if possessed, had fired a whole magazine. The black shadow fell to the ground. Everyone panted heavily, looking at Song Jinming. Let's go take a look. Song Jinming hesitated for a moment, then gave the order. Who was the black shadow that fell to the ground? If it really was a ghost, they wouldn't be able to run away even if they wanted to. It was better to see it with their own eyes. Even if they died, they had to die knowing why. Everyone followed Song Jinming, reloaded, and cautiously moved forward. What made them breathe a sigh of relief was that the black shadow on the ground didn't move at all. It seemed to have been shot dead by them. Song Jinming led everyone and surrounded it. The muzzles of their guns were still pointed at the black shadow. If the other party's corpse reanimated, they would immediately open fire. But when they saw the black shadow clearly, Song Jinming's mouth fell open. Third uncle. The black shadow on the ground was actually his own third uncle, Song Yuliang. And Song Yuliang's whole body was riddled with bullet holes, shot into a sieve. He had long stopped breathing, his eyes wide open, full of disbelief. Just now, he had led his subordinates and personally shot his third uncle to death. Song Jinming, for the third time, collapsed onto the ground, his eyes lifeless. His hands trembled as he closed his third uncle's eyes, his heart filled with grief. The subordinates all lowered their heads in unison, especially those who had been in the last row just now and had opened fire with Song Jinming. They were also one of the culprits. After a while, Song Jinming raised his head, sniffled, and said tremblingly, "Let's go." Maintain the formation from just now. He didn't dare to cry. The cold wind was like a knife. If a tear fell, it would instantly freeze on his face. It would be as painful as being cut by a knife. If they wanted to take third uncle's body with them now, the team would have to expend a lot of energy. How many people would still be alive when they returned to the song group? Everyone was in a heavy mood, silent, and reassembled. Then they left. Song Yuliang is dead. In the office building, Shun Hung gently waved his hand. A small metal worm crawled into his palm. Then the small worm disappeared, returning to his consciousness space. Really? Linlu's eyes lit up. Just now, she had heard the intense gunfire outside. Could it be that Song Yuliang was killed by Song Jinming? Speaking of which, she now also knew about Song Yuliang betraying Song Jinming, gathering his subordinates, and then being killed by Shin Hong. Could it be that Song Jinming already knew that Song Yuliang had betrayed him? No wonder the gunfire lasted so long. This must be a deep hatred. If I were in Song Jinming's shoes, I would also want to dismember Song Yuliang. I trusted you so much, trusted you to guard the granary, yet you colluded with outsiders. Let's go too. It's getting late. Today could be said to be a day of great harvest. He had subdued Li Minghua, and also learned that there was a group of crazy scientists in South City who had created an evil organization called the Tihui. Now he had occupied the granary and also broken into the Song group's home. Song Jinming was probably in a state of shock and paralysis right now. However, Shun Hung didn't directly kill Song Jinming. He let him personally kill his third uncle. This was just the beginning. After that, Shun Hung would make Song Jinming watch the entire Song family fall. After he had endured all the mental torment, he would then finish him off. He wanted to completely destroy Song Jinming's confidence. The people in the Song group's home were all old, weak, women, and children. They were now only wearing underwear and might freeze to death. And for people like Song Jinming to walk back to the Song group, they would at least lose half their lives. Where are you guys going? Linlu followed Shun Heng's group downstairs. Seeing Shun Hung conjure up the snowmobile, she hesitated for a moment and asked softly, "We're going home." Shun Hung glanced at Linlu, then suddenly realized. He waved his hand, and the snowmobile that Song Jinming had used before appeared in front of her. "Here, this car is for you. You're not going back, are you? We're not on the same road. You can drive it yourself," Shun Hung said. Hey Mao stood to the side and pouted. "Stinky husband, don't think I didn't see you secretly glancing at Linlu a few times just now. It's obvious you have ideas. Now you're using tactics, right? Playing hard to get." Indeed, Shun Hung was just an ordinary man. Faced with a beautiful, rich, and fair-skinned girl like Linlu, which man wouldn't like her? However, he already had 4 girls. Could it be that every time he saw a beautiful woman, he wanted to take in another one? That would be too insatiable. Linlu bit her lower lip tightly, looked at Shun Hing for a moment, then looked at Hei Mao. Sister Miao, can I go with you? Don't worry, I'll learn to cook, and I can also clean the house and do housework. Can you take me in? She thought that witnessing the destruction of the Song family was more important. Moreover, Linlu had no supplies whatsoever. Now that the Lin family was in chaos, the elders in the family were all fighting for power. If she went back, she would probably be controlled. Her father only had 1 daughter like her, who would listen to a woman's command. She had no home to go back to anymore. Where else could she go? And now, after spending time with Hei Mao, she was full of good feelings for her. She knew that this beautiful girl was about the same age as her, only a month older. Shen Mingting was also very friendly to her. Moreover, these 3 people looked clean and tidy, and they even had such an advanced intelligent snowmobile that she had never heard of. They must have a lot of supplies. If her father in heaven could see the Song family destroyed, and she could still live well and continue to live, it would be enough to make him happy. And again, the men she had met before were all lecherous scoundrels. But Shun Hung already had 2 beautiful wives, and even 2 more at home. He certainly wouldn't have any ideas about her anymore. If she could follow them, it would definitely be beneficial to her. Moreover, she had nothing of value to exchange for such good conditions. Except for this body. Linlu's mind was in a turmoil, and she couldn't speak properly. What else can you do? Shun Hung glanced at Hei Mao and Chen Mingting, coughed lightly, and asked with a frown. I can play the piano, play the violin, I can dance, I know. Linlu said this, and she suddenly hesitated, unable to speak. These skills, if placed in peaceful times, could add points to her. But in this apocalyptic era, what use were they? It was not as useful as cooking, but she didn't know how to cook. The only time she tried to cook, she burned the bottom of the pot. Hei Mao glanced at her husband and found that Shun Hung was putting on a serious face. She immediately leaned close to Shun Heng's ear and whispered, Honey, how about we let Linlu wear a bunny girl outfit and be your 5th little wife at our house? His heart skipped a beat, but on his face, he still pretended to be in a difficult position. I'm afraid that's not very good. Linlu didn't hear Hei Mao's words clearly. She only saw Shun Hung shaking his head and frowning, and hurriedly said, What's not good about it? I agree. Huh. Hei Mao was stunned for a moment, then let go of his hand. Honey, look, she agreed. Sister Miao, please help me. Let Brother Shin agree. Linlu pulled Hei Mao to one side and whispered, Do you know what I just said to my husband? Hei Mao looked at Linlu. You'll go to our house and wear a bunny girl outfit. Linlu's face was full of surprise. A bunny girl outfit? It looks very revealing. She bit her lip and whispered, This will be very cold. The weather is not suitable at all. Our house is very warm. Hei Mao waved her hand. We all wear short sleeves at home. Short sleeves? Linlu's eyes widened in surprise. Let alone outside. Even her Lin family's home was now freezing cold. What kind of living environment was this that they could still wear short sleeves? As long as you can let me follow you, I'll wear it. Linlu closed her eyes and said with a red face. She had also liked cosplay before and naturally knew what a bunny girl looked like. Moreover, it seemed that Shun Hung was the only man in the house. Although it was a bit embarrassing, it was not unacceptable. I also said, Let you be my husband's 5th little wife. Hei Mao continued. You just said you agreed. Before Linlu could open her mouth, Hei Mao added another sentence. Linlu's mouth twitched. That's not what I meant when I said I agreed. Moreover, how could you actively help Brother Shin find a concubine? With a harem master like you in the house, wouldn't Shun Hung be overjoyed? No wonder Mingting also respects you so much. If you agree, then follow us. I'll be responsible for persuading my husband, Hei Mao said in a low voice. If you don't want to, then let's part on good terms. Meeting and parting are both cool and easy. Actually, I think you're a good match, and I hope to be good friends with you. Is this how you treat your best friend? Linlu raised her head, looked at Shun Hung intently, then hesitated and whispered, Then, that's fine too. She didn't dislike Shun Hung, especially since Shun Hung had overthrown the Song family. A powerful Song family was just a toy in Shun Heng's hands, needed at will. If that's the case, it's not a loss for me to follow him. Besides, Shun Heng overthrowing the Song family has also avenged her father. Linlu had known since she was a child that she was a member of the Lin family, and her marriage was not her own to decide. In the future, for the sake of the family's growth, she would have to marry the son of some family. But among the young masters of those families, how many were not playboys? The dark corners of the wealthy circle, she knew better than anyone. Several of her friends, who had similar backgrounds, were forced to marry and were not happy after marriage. Their husbands were fooling around outside, with countless mistresses. Now, with Shun Heng having 3 wives and 4 concubines, it was actually not much different. It was just that one was in the dark and the other was in the open. However, before the Song family is destroyed, I don't want to lose my virginity first, Linlu added in a low voice with a red face. You can rest assured about this, He Mao smiled. The destruction of the Song family is just a matter of minutes. Once she entered the door, could Linlu still escape? Let alone her. Even Yang Mushuan and Ning Jiao these days, the way they looked at Shun Heng had become strange. It was obvious that they had other ideas. Honey, she agreed. He Mao walked up to Shun Heng and whispered in his ear. Really? Shun Heng's eyes lit up. A familiar pain came from his waist. He Mao said angrily, I knew you were just pretending just now. Ahem, if my wife didn't agree, I definitely wouldn't have this idea. Shun Heng scratched his head awkwardly. He Mao pouted and snorted, then gently rubbed Shun Heng's waist, her voice full of meaning. I still remember what you said to me back then. As long as I don't betray you, you will never abandon me. So of course I have to think for my husband. To be able to survive in the apocalypse and have the life I have now is something He Mao never dared to dream of. Now, arranging a few more wives for my husband is nothing. I'm so considerate and so obedient and sensible. I have to think what my husband thinks and worry about what my husband worries about. Only in this way can I firmly sit in the position of the master of the harem forever, and my husband will love me even more. Thank you for listening to the audio story on my channel. This is a product of xalosach.com. Thank you for accompanying us. We wish you moments of complete and meaningful enjoyment of the story. This trip was really worth it, so worth it. The VULVT snowmobile sped away. Shun Heng sat in the back row, looking at Linlu beside him. He Mao took the initiative to pull Chun Mingting to sit in the front row. Besides, the car was controlled by artificial intelligence, so no one needed to drive. Let my husband rest for a while and cultivate his feelings with Linlu. It had to be said that He Mao was indeed the most ideal wife. She had even considered this. And Linlu beside her, her face was red, and she lowered her head, not daring to look at Shun Heng.